welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Heaven Sent Show. This is episode 40. 40. Man, season 2 has been phenomenal. I can't wait to get into a lot of these guests, man. I got coming to the show soon, and I just got some good content coming, man. Salute to all of y'all. Go ahead and share the live. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm just blessed to even be back and doing what I'm doing, man. Hope everybody's having a great year. Starting off the year right. Starting the year positive. Me, myself, man, I was just on DJ Dale's show the other night. I was at my storage and showing off some crazy heat, crazy OG heat, man. And if y'all get a chance, man, go ahead, go over there with DJ Dale's show. The Sneaker Addict, not DJ Dale's show, but the Sneaker Addict. I was on there and was it Sunday night? I think it was Sunday night. And we just had a blast, man. We was on there for like about 2 hours, man. He's kicking it. That's a busy man, guys and girls. I'm telling you, DJ Dale's, that's a busy guy. He's on the clock, like every hour, of the day. He's doing something different. Rather if he's doing caffeine, right? He's on both his pages, YouTube channels and stuff like that. And then he hosts his battles and stuff like that. Man, the guy is really talented and a lot of, and he's a family man. So it's crazy, man. But salute to DJ Dale for having me on the show. We kicked it, bro. We kicked it. Me and Mr. Jones, man. I'm telling you, I brought out some crazy pennies, man. And I tell y'all, like, I somewhat didn't want to spoil it, but whoever saw it live, whoever saw the replay, man, shout out to y'all, man. Yeah, I really enjoyed myself, man. Goodness gracious, I was showing some crazy stuff, man. I think I'm gonna do a part 2, man. Other than that, man, hope everybody having a great day. Episode 40 is going down, man. Thank y'all for kicking it with the kid at prime time. We're 9 o'clock. We're 9 o'clock. Usually we do it 7, sometimes 8, but this time we're doing it prime time, 9 o'clock, man. Shout out to Guru and African Caesar. Got to holler at these guys, man, and I'm definitely a long-time follower and a fan of their podcast, and wanted to just bring these guys on, man. We could talk, man, kicks. We could talk about history. If you're a fan of the 90s sneakers, man, this is the show for you. I'm trying to tell you. Are we gonna I'll bring these guys on, man, and we're definitely gonna kick it. And then we're gonna do that famous speedy round. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, man, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I got some great questions. So other than that, man, shout out to each and every one of y'all, Team Penny. I see some of the foamies in the building. Shut it live, man. Shut it live. I know it's pretty late. We're prime time. Some of y'all just getting off work. Some of y'all actually watching other things on TV. I had to bring on some of my guys from Detroit, man, and these guys, man, they rep their city well, very well. I remember meeting these guys for the first time. Well, African Caesar, I don't think I ever met Guru in person, but African Caesar, man, this dude's super tall, and I'm looking up like, dude, when you sit down, bro, you didn't even look like you tall. But I even used to follow these guys back when Jim and Bostic used to be on their podcast, and these guys, man, they're a lot of fun, man. They're energetic. They have a lot of history as far as in the sneaker game. And but yeah, I met African Caesar at SneakerCon Chicago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago when they did the live broadcast on their Chicago. I met a lot of people. I met Sneaker Lady, 23. I met Brandon, my man Brandon Rogers. I met him there. I met, goodness gracious, Cerebral, One-Legged Lister. Like, everybody was in that joint, man. Chicago 2000 and I think, I want to say 16 or 17. Everybody was in that joint, man. So I enjoy that Chicago trip, man. A lot of people was in there. Like if you was on IG and Twitter back then, heavy, you was able to meet some of your followers, some people that you've been following for so long. But that was a really good trip, man. Chicago, man. Shout out to everyone that I got to meet that year. Everybody was in the building. I'm telling you, D-Lo, oh my goodness, rest in peace. Man, I got to meet, man, so many people, man, that year. But yeah, man, I was a really good sneaker. I got so many memories from that time. Remember we broke a record in my man's Black uh, brother Black, man. We bought over 140 sneakers and we fit them all in our van. And bro, I would never forget that. That was yeah, man. RP D-Lo, man. My goodness, man. It was an amazing show, man. Both days I was meeting new people or meeting people that actually I follow or that inspired me to do what I do, man, online. And it was a great, man. And that's what sneaker con and sneaker shows is all about. It's not always about reselling and copying grills. It's about meeting new people, man, building relationships, friendships, man, connecting, networking. Sometimes, man, some people get caught up in the sales. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to make money. It's cool. It's always that's a plus, actually. But it's just get to see new people and meet new people, man. Shake hands, and be in the same room as some of your peers and followers, man. It's really such a great thing, man. So, other than that, man, no further ado, man. I'm gonna bring my guys on, man. I'm gonna invite. I'm not sure if African Caesar is ready, but I see Guru. He's in the building. Let's bring my man's on. Kick it off with him. Whenever African Caesar, you know what I'm saying, channel in, we're gonna bring him in too. So everybody from the Sneaker Boy podcast, my man, Guru, what's good, homie?
What's going on, man? I appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir,
Thank
man.
you. I really do.
Definitely a huge fan of you guys, man, and I've been listening to you guys for so long. And then when you recently were able to do visuals and put your shows on the shows on YouTube, man, it's amazing, man. So,
Oh yeah.
Dude, y'all too, man. Y'all got the whole cast, bro. Y'all just have a lot of fun. And it's like sometimes I'm just like, bro, this is not scripted at all. Even though they have their notes and you know, it feels genuine. And even, you know, when I'm in the gym and listen to you guys, man, it's really it's really just fresh, you know what I'm saying, just really good to see guys like you guys still doing it. And it's y'all almost 10 years in the game, like.
Yeah, so I think I came on 2013, 14-ish when I came on. I came on, actually they invited me on for a couple episodes and then I ended up staying. So that was like 2013, 14.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's unfortunate. But yeah, it's been a long time, man.
It's been a long time. I mean, like y'all was even in the basement of the J's a couple
that was basement of James. That was crazy. Came a long way from that to the sneaker cons to the trips to Nike.
Yeah.
It was a lot, man. We've been blessed. We've been fortunate to do a lot and to see a lot, you know, and to travel.
Yeah. So it's like, let's start off like what actually just, you know, started you guys, or even for them even ask you to bring you along the ride as well.
So at the time I was a fullback, in between being a manager at Villa at the time in Detroit, where they just started opening it up. So the store I was at, we opened from scratch. and so there was an Adidas event for the top 10 Detroit Tigers, right? It was a top 10 they did.
Yeah, I
It
remember
was
that.
so yeah, they had an event there, and then Cease was there, and then my district manager got introduced to Cease, and then he was like, man, yeah, I got Cease. I brought up doing the sneaker reviews. He was like, okay, you should meet up with my guy, Will. You know, they used to call me the Rain Man of sneakers back in the day. Like he knows everything on the top. He could just like Rain Man. So people would come to my store and say, yo, you do know everything about shoes, and they would test me. And I'm like, okay, this shoe, that shoe, you know, X, Y, and Z. And C's came into the store one day, he was like, hey man, you know, my DM introduced us, we talked. And then if you go back on YouTube, I think on Sneaker Bar Detroit channel, we did like 9 some videos together. From the Kobe Bryant Black History Month to it was the Legend Blues, the Kobe 9 Vino, like the engineer mesh joints, the burgundy one with the orange bottoms. We did those black and red 13s that they brought out. That used to be like just a sample in Tinker Office in one of them slam magazines. We did quite a few videos. KD7 Clearwater. And then he was like, man, you know, that's when we did the videos together. He was like, man, you should come through in the podcast. It was me, Jumpman Bostic. So I came through one day, Jumpman Bostic basement. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? All these Jordans. And then we chopped it. And I did like 1 or 2 episodes. And then they just like, hey, man, you should come back. And it just kind of stayed.
That's dope, man. Speaking of the devil, let's go ahead and bring my man, African Ceasar, on. You know what a great segue to even bring him on, man, because that's amazing.
Yeah, y'all see
African
who really be
Ceasar
late.
was
Y'all see
good.
who really be late. You see who really be late.
My bad.
Yo, man, it's great to even have both of you guys on, man. Again, thank y'all for taking your time out. Man, I was just telling Guru, man, I've been listening to you guys for a long time, and it's even back when the days when y'all was in the basement of the J's, you feel me? That's how long of a fan I've been. And even just, you know, actually meeting you in Chicago, 2017, I think.
Yeah.
And you guys did a live podcast out there, man. That was pretty dope, man. So just like I asked him, what was like the thing that brought y'all to even do the podcast? I know podcast wasn't even popular, but what made y'all just like, okay, let's do this talk show thing, you know, and get in the podcast game?
Well, at the time, nobody was on a podcast. Like OSD Live had done it, like maybe a couple of years before we did it, but at that point, nobody was doing it. They had stopped, and nobody was really doing podcasting at that time. And so, I had just got with Sneaker Bar Detroit, and I was originally going to do like, you know, YouTube and reviews and stuff like that, but it was so saturated back then.
Yeah, it was oversaturated.
Yeah. And I was just like, all right, well, let's do something different. And so I'd always wanted to try out podcasting or whatever. So at that point, I had just linked up with Jumpman Bostic. And so me and him linked up in his basement. You know, and it was funny because it was just, we didn't really have an idea as far as like a format or anything. It was just, let's just spitball. Let's just talk, you know, like, let's just talk how we normally talk about different shoes and whatnot. And so, And so we did that. And then I ended up meeting Sneaker Girl at a sneaker event here in Detroit. And then invited her.
Yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah, and that's how we started off. And then eventually, because I was still doing sneaker reviews here and there, and so we were doing it with DTLR, and they were like, you got to meet this guy named Guru. You should go to our Redford store. And I'm like, why gotta go all the way to Redford? You know, I'm like 40 minutes away. I'm like, you know, closer to DTLR. And he's like, no, you gotta meet this guy named Guru. And I'm like, all right. So I meet Guru, and like instantly, like this dude was like a savant. Like he just knew like all the different details about the different shoes. And I was like, nerd. And then, you know, but we ended up being cool. And we did a couple of videos together, and I was like, yo, like, you gotta come do the show. And it's funny now I think about it, because I remember when he first came to do the show, he was kind of, we was in Jumpman's basement. I don't know if he was actually on the show, or if he was just down there with us. And then the very next week, like, we all split up.
Yeah, I remember.
Guru was the Yoko Ono of our show back then.
Yeah, I remember the times where he would be in the building and y'all give him like shout outs and let everybody know he's there. Or a couple times
Yeah.
where um, uh, it'd be maybe all four y'all, and
Hmm.
uh, I remember y'all was doing definitely weekly. Y'all was doing weekly shows, so y'all was letting everyone know what sneaker was coming out or what sneaker that was dropping that morning or that day. And
Yeah.
I think that was right before Sneaker Girl either went off to college or graduated college, if I'm not mistaken.
It might have been graduated
Yeah,
because I think
Graduated,
she was.
yeah.
around her graduation.
It,
Yeah,
yeah, because she
Yeah.
she actually took a break, and y'all just like elevated from then.
Yeah.
Y'all had some ups and downs. It kind of comes along with the game, man. Uh, but y'all kept it moving though. Like it's
yeah.
like
I think after that, I think around that time is when Sneaker Girl did it, and the Jumpman Bostic had to do some things, and then me and I think C was like, "What we gonna do?" And he was like, "Well, do you know a girl?" And then I got somebody in mind. I'm like, "Yep." And then I was like, "Bet," because MJ used to come to my store and just kick it with me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And then he had
Right.
to do Aaron Scully, and he had worked with me before he went to go work with this a reseller store. So it was like, bet I'll call MJ, and then MJ come through because she know her sneakers, and it's hard to find a woman like into sneaker who know her shoes like that, especially here in
yeah,
our city. You know what I'm saying?
very,
Yeah.
Hard. It's very hard to this day. It's still
Yeah.
hard to find somebody like that. And then he
Yeah.
brought Scully, so when we came together, it was just like 6 degrees of separation because MJ used to come to my store. Then Scully used to work with MJ. Then Scully used to work with me. So it was able to, when we did it, it was able to, the cohesion was already there because there was familiarity with all of us. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. It was pretty dope, man, and fascinating how quickly y'all adapt, and she just blended right in
Well,
there.
Oh yeah.
I always kind of had a plan B. Because Guru's being nice about it, but like at the time, I was already kind of sensing. I was already sensing that like the original iteration of the show, like there was tension behind the scenes and
Yeah,
whatnot. And I could
yeah,
already sense it, so I was already making plans. Like, all right, well, just in case, here's my plan B. And so um, that's how I was able to transition so quickly because I already kind of had it in the back of my mind. And the tension was some bullshit. It was like it's funny because it just really comes down to a lack of communication. I think that goes for any relationship. When there's a lack of
yeah,
communication,
yeah.
um,
That's true.
people kind of go to their own neutral corners, and then, especially when you got other people in your ear, it just it creates animosity, unnecessary animosity,
Yeah,
and that's kind of what happened. Like you had people, because we're doing our thing, and certain people felt some type of way, like that should be me, and all this other shit. And it's like, well, it could have been you, but you didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
everybody want to be you, but they don't want to put in the work. So, um,
Well,
and
that
so anyway, that's all.
after that though, wasn't it?
Huh?
That was after,
No, no,
right?
no. Well, no, you thinking about wine. I'm thinking
Uh,
about like, 'cause you had people like Tico and
oh,
you
okay.
know,
Gotcha.
like in Jumpman's ear and stuff, and it was just
Yeah.
like, and then you had people on my side, in my
You
ear,
definitely don't say. You
and it was
definitely
just
don't say
like,
a name, huh?
Well,
man, fuck
I'm
them.
totally
So,
glad, man, that y'all put that behind y'all, man. Y'all grown
Yeah.
a
yeah,
lot. Y'all grown a lot, and to see y'all how y'all were back then to now, it's bro. I gotta tip my hat off you because that stuff is not easy. Me just being in
it
this,
ain't.
doing this for a whole year, and trying to branch off and get sponsors and stuff like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's never easy. But you got to make it easy. I'm trying to
Man,
tell you, man. But yeah, man, you guys are a, a small percentage behind of my inspiration of what I do, as far as like doing this every Tuesday, and the sneaker stuff, man. It can make you or break you. As far as like you want to get into the hype, you can do that. If you want to keep it OG, you can do that. If you want to get in, vintage or just want to round yourself and be yourself and have an open mind. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you guys do, and that's what kind of motivates me, man, because y'all don't discriminate. Even though y'all keep it real, all the way real. Let me tell y'all that. And that's what another thing I like about y'all, man, because y'all can see a sneaker and you be like, no, I'm not going. I'm not going.
You know what? As the older I get, and as I become a young OG in the sneaker game, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess we was into it before it blew up. So as the older we get, we've seen a lot more than other people have. So you become like a young OG. I felt like I kind of realized like older I get in the sneaker game, it's like I understand Jay-Z went more of the I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did 5 million. I ain't been rhyming like common sense. So like sometimes you have to be open to the new stuff, the Sakai, or Travis Scott, just to at least give it a thought or give it some attention or say, maybe let me give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be like just shunning everything. And that's one of the things I tell Caesar, okay, this is where I may not agree with it. It may not be for me, but if that's how y'all was, I'm pretty sure. Because I'm pretty sure when we was coming up, the old heads who liked the shell toes was hating on our Jordans and our pennies and our Barclays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember when the S. Carters came out, all the street dudes like, man, they look like the Gucci original 84s. You know what I'm saying? But that was our Yeezy. Like I tell people all the time, that was our Yeezy. We went out and bought that shoe. The black and green one, the white and green, the white and blue, the black and pink for the girls.
Yeah.
That was the first extended shoe size. Like, I think, because the Aqua 8 started coming around like 06, 07, that retro. Like that. Yeah. But they was making them because dudes had the black and pink ones. I don't know how they got them in the bigger size, but
man, it was
coming up, man.
I used to love seeing those bad boys at Burlington Coat Factory and TJ Maxx for the low ski. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, fire shoe. You could dress it up, dress it down. Man, I was just on Dell's show, DJ Dell's show, and I was showing my collection of S. Carters. Yeah, man. So,
well, see, Guru, and that's what makes. I think that's what makes the show balanced, right? Because Guru, first of all, is a logical position that he's taking, right? So it's hard to argue against it. But in recent years, I've kind of taken more of I think Doc Slade called me the sneaker curmudgeon because like I've just become bitter at this point. And but no, like it's just like I agree with Guru, I really do. But at the same time, like you know that every generation it advances forward, fashion changes, music changes. So you know that's just the inevitable part of evolution. However, even when we did that, like I remember growing up, even though we had hip hop and everything, we still knew about the old school music because that's what created hip hop. They would take the old school albums and then, make samples out of that music and then convert that into hip hop. So there was still a bridge. Right now, there is no bridge because like now, like these kids, like if it happened before they were born, they don't give a fuck about it. They don't know nothing about it. And they act like they don't have an obligation to know anything about it. And so like everything that they're doing right now currently is the greatest thing ever just because that's all they know. So I feel obligated. I feel obligated to be like, no, like fuck that. Yeah, I get it. You're a kid, but this generation has the most access to information than any other generation in history. And they act like they not. How am I supposed to know that? Like, nigga, you have a phone. You can just type it in and ask a question, right? Back when we were kids, we had to like get an encyclopedia, go to the library. You know what I'm saying? Go to the museum. And so I'm just like, to me, it's just laziness, and it bothers me because it's like, like there's certain things you can know, like you know what I'm saying. You just choose not to because once again, it's not in your face. Like they're so used to being spoon-fed information. So when it's not spoon-fed, they're like, I got to go to the refrigerator and get it myself. Like, yes, go. You have legs. And so that's where my frustration comes in. And at this point, like I just own it. Like I was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being an old man shaking my fist at the neighborhood kids, so be it.
And it's part of your personality, so I enjoy it.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Almost celebrating 10 years in the podcast game. Like, I was, telling our action guru, man, like, what is it like? But let's get into some of y'all favorite moments. Just, take your time, just off the top, some of y'all favorite moments, man, of all these years in the game.
I would have to say the trip to Nike was dope. The
Yeah,
experience to do that, that was very nice. To
Yeah.
that
yeah,
actually felt like the back end of that trip almost felt like an NBA West Coast trip when they go on the road and play 5 games on the West Coast, and you can
Yeah.
see they were getting tired game 5. Like, oh, let's go back home. Like, you know what I'm saying?
man.
Like that felt like that because that day 5 we toured the Trailblazers facility and we all went home and took a nap, and that was
So
our last
now,
day there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It just felt like
It
because
was
the
like
day
non-stop
before.
action.
I think the day before kind of, I don't say it drained us,
Mhm.
but you peek behind the curtains to see why some of the decisions were made like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
From them, like, why should we sell shoe cleaners? Like, Ford didn't wait 30 years to start changing their own car oil. Like, they did it as a part of the service and a part of the ecosystem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then again, you saw that no disrespect to them, but the people that were there wasn't fully indulged into the culture as we were. Like you go to
bro.
a vineyard, right? Those
Yeah.
people who are there giving you their tour, they are heavy into wine, right? They enjoy
Right.
wine. If they
Yeah.
didn't get paid to do it, they would do it. You know what I'm saying? They're heavy into it. When
Yep.
that wasn't a gist. It was more so of a I'm here as a career opportunity. My job landed me here. My career path landed me here. And I'm just kind of, I'll say figuring out as you went, but they were just like, But I guess the Best Man movie was the last one of the ones, and then Terrence Howard say they paid me to tell them what black people think.
Yeah.
Like they needed one of them,
Yeah.
and that was kind of like the gist of that trip. Like, okay,
Yeah.
but that was missing from that. But there I would have to say SneakerCon Fort Lauderdale / Miami was fun. We enjoyed ourselves there.
Mm-hmm.
That SneakerCon was okay, kind of small, but that's where we made Kate Fagan at, and she ended up doing that thing with Jumpman Bossy with the Starberries.
Right. Right. Remember that?
Yeah, that was a good moment. And then we went to South Beach and had fun. We ate well.
Got lost.
Yeah, got lost.
Got lost.
Yeah,
Who got lost? You?
Guru got
No,
lost.
no. This is we talking
No,
about
no, Guru, you know,
I showed
real
you the
quick.
GPS,
No,
bro.
no. Guru, I love Guru, but Guru never takes accountability for anything,
How?
bro.
You just
I
said I
said,
was logical.
Doc,
I did
listen, listen. We
Man.
follow Guru because he's using whatever. He wasn't using Google Maps. He was using whatever map. You know, he's looking at pirate treasure maps or something because we was walking around downtown Miami. I never forget. He was like, we was looking for something. He said it's a half hour this way. So we going, we walking. Half hour later, he talking about, it's another half hour. I'm like, nigga, like what? Like, bro, like, and then we double back and we go back the opposite direction. We get to the ocean. We like, yo, like, where we going?
bro. Like, first of
You
all,
know,
I showed them my
this
phone
before the
because
surgery.
black
So he
people
had the
is not gonna
OD.
let you lead them without showing them physical direction, right? So I
Right.
showed them my phone. I said, bro, it says
Look,
this way on Ocean Drive. We
DJ,
followed. It was on Apple Maps, right? So that's what I was using at the time. Like, it's showing me this way. Then we
bruh,
so the GPS got us lost on that, right? That's the first
DJ,
thing. So that's why
DJ.
I didn't get us lost. I showed you. I didn't say
Bullshit.
I
We
wasn't
following
like
Guru.
Frederick
Who was we
Magellan with
following?
my telescope and
We
like,
following Guru.
yo, this way,
DJ,
the
this is,
17.
I'm going to tell you how bad it got.
Yeah.
It was so bad. We were talking about stealing scooters. We were
I
so tired
said,
of walking.
speak for yourself. There's still
Me
a
and Jumpman
statute
was
of
like,
limitations.
we about to steal these scooters because they had the scooter rental.
Yeah.
And we was like, yeah, we about to just hop on these scooters and dip. Like, you know, we ended up getting in the cab because
Oh
Jumpman
my
had the bad
goodness.
knee. You know what I'm saying? So we had to jump in the cab to get to where we were going to because we walking around aimlessly downtown.
Where did we go for that?
Following
Where was all of
Guru.
that coming from? Was it the Kip store?
Yeah, we went to the Kill store
No,
and then
but
we
we
went
got
to,
where we going. That's
we
where we
went
were
to
going
Soul
to the Kip
something.
store.
Because we was trying to get the Soul Fly.
Yeah.
No, that was after Soulfly because we left
No,
Soulfly.
we didn't go to Soul Fly. We went to that other store that's the equivalent of Mr. Allen's up here, down there. Soul
Well,
something.
Soulfly was on Ocean Drive. I don't know what happened, but
We
Soulfly.
were trying to get the Soul Fly.
Man,
We was trying to get the Soul Fly,
I
and
can
then
imagine. And you know, and those cabs are not cheap either in Miami too.
hell no. We
You split in 3 ways. It was.
we squoze in that taxi cab like a clown car, man. I'm just sitting in the back seat like
We know who sat in the front. He can lie talk about squeeze. He ain't squeezing nowhere.
man, we
You
squeeze.
in the
Man, I'm in the
front
back seat.
seat.
You have to let Jumpman in the front seat, you know, because I'm like, he got the bad leg, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
always give Jumpman a respect.
That's
So I'm like,
crazy.
Yeah. But you see what I'm talking about though. Like it's like even though he's
I
going to a
told you
direction,
when last
it
year
ain't his
I didn't
fault.
have the map, bro. You act like I had the road map
He
from
had that map
the
from
rest stop.
Goonies.
I
Like,
showed you my
You have to
phone.
he
get
looking for
that.
pirate treasure.
Apple
Like,
Maps. If it
look,
means for you to say that
Oh
I was
man.
wrong, because Apple
he looking
Maps
for
was wrong,
pirate
then
treasure.
so
We
be it.
trying to get the Soulfly.
So
Uh-huh.
that's I mean,
Oh, that's crazy, man.
yeah, man. Yeah,
What a heck of a story, bro. I'm like, that's a venture
That's just
right
one of
there
them.
itself.
But that's
that's
the
funny.
thing though. That's what I miss
Yeah.
is when we would go, we always had a story. Every time we went out of town, there was always a story.
That's
And that was
crazy.
part of the fun of it, because it was like you never knew what was going to happen. Because I mean, the thing I like about our show is that we're all like friends, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it fun because it
Hmm.
doesn't feel like work. You know what I'm saying? And so even when it is some bullshit, it's still funny. Like when
Yeah.
we got to LA and I'm glad Airbnb. It's funny because Guru posted this on the stories not that long ago about Airbnb now not letting you see who's renting your space
Hmm.
because you got people that will cancel just because you black,
Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
happened. Like we go to LA and all the houses we could get were in Orange County, so they kept canceling for no reason,
Yeah.
no reason.
That boy
And we had
reposted
it,
right after you cancel it.
yeah,
Repost the
reposted it.
house.
We
Wow.
had good reviews. We never had a negative review. We never had any negative feedback. So it's like, so what are you basing your cancellation on other than we're black, right?
Right.
So we get to LA, we ain't got nowhere to stay. And we spent the whole day looking for a place. We ended up finding a cabin in the mountains 2 hours away. And
Two
but even with
hours.
that being said, it was still funny as hell. Like it was just and like we still laugh about it now.
You see, he left
So
out
that,
before we got off the plane. Caesar got G checked. Like,
Whoa.
oh
oh yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah, so,
outfit, bro. The man who loves to wear
yeah.
red, and we on the plane, and they dude
Oh.
tap on the shoulder.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, dude tapped him on the shoulder, like, "Hey, you know where you at?" And looked up because he sees had all red on.
No,
Hey,
he
you
didn't
know
say
where
it
you
like
at?
that. It was an old man. He was like 60, 70,
That's even
and
worse. You know,
he
you
kept
got
I,
looking
red
at me.
I
for
mean,
old
but
man.
No,
what was he like? Asking you like,
Yeah,
or
because he had
letting
on
him
the
no,
know?
he
red.
wasn't like he wasn't mad. He seemed more concerned than mad.
Concern?
And he
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
just
There
like,
you go. There
yeah.
you go.
And he was like, he kept looking at me, and I'm like, why is this old man looking at me? I'm thinking like I look like his grandson or some shit. I don't know.
Nah, bro, he
And
looked you
so
up and down.
we
Dude, why did you
finally
change
land.
clothes? He went and changed clothes after
Hell yeah, I
that.
changed clothes. I
He went
land.
and changed clothes after that.
So
I will
we
blame. I
when we
don't blame him,
land.
man.
We land and we waiting to get to the gate, and I guess he took that opportunity to come over there, and he kneeled down like he was like a football coach and shit. And he
Uh,
was just like, "Hey, son, you're not really about that life, are you?" And I'm like, "About what life?" And he was just like, "That shit real out here." And I'm like, you wearing all this red?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I forgot." You know what I'm saying? I call myself just trying to look cute and shit. So, bullshit. We get to, we finally get off the airplane. Man, I could not run and get my luggage fast enough, and I'm trying to evade anybody I see wearing blue. Right? I'm like, nah, I don't want to, because I'm here for a sneaker event. I ain't here for that.
right.
I ain't
Right.
gonna get to die in LA. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man, some of the funniest moments. This is great. But yeah, I wouldn't know how to handle that situation. Probably try to, talk my way in as far as the gentleman goes, but I wouldn't know how to handle that situation. You know,
Well,
even
luckily, I brought a whole bunch of Lakers gear, so like I was able to go put on my Kobe jersey.
yeah,
I think I had a Will Chamberlain jersey, so I was like, I'm gonna put that on real quick.
yeah.
I was
I have a
like,
family member that's from Long Beach, and he knows I'm a Yankee fan. And he's like, bro, you cannot bring none of that here, bro. I was okay, all right.
right. I got
No
in.
Yankees, no nothing. I'm like, bro, that's difficult because I got nothing but the Yankees and Knicks stuff, bro. He's like, nah, it's not happening, bro.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
real quick, I just want to point out something because this is what I love about sneaker culture. One, the fact that we're able to beat people like you, right? Because that's what sneakers do. It connects you to people.
Oh yeah.
And there's somebody in the chat right now. Her name is Diane Houghton. Like, she's
Shout
probably one
out.
of the most phenomenal people I know. Like, dude, like she is always like you talking about a globe trotter. Every time I look up, she in a different country. But like she works at different museums, she works in fashion,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like, dude, like, but like we connected because Nike at the time was doing at the time it was Sneaker Lab. Now then it became something else, and then now it's Nike by You, right? They've
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
absorbed
It
the
was Shoe
Nike idea.
Cultivator when we did it.
Shoe Cultivator, yeah,
And then
Cultivator,
it became
and
something else. Yeah.
yeah, they kept changing names and shit, and
Yeah.
so Anyway, but it was like their attempt to work with on a more grassroots level because you can have Travis Scott, you can have Kanye and all that other shit, but they also recognize like working with people within the sneaker community
Right.
on a smaller level was just as important, right? And so it's like a running for president. Like you can get all the big donors you want to. If you ain't out there kissing hands and shaking, or shaking hands and kissing babies.
You about to say something else. You see what
Yeah,
he
I'm about to say something else. Kissing hands and shaking babies.
Oh man.
If you ain't out there doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how Obama won. He was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go out there and just meet everybody. And
Yeah.
so that's how we ended up meeting, and I ended up connecting with her because she had done a project I think before ours, and just seeing everybody and the creativity they brought to it was dope. And so like it put pressure on us because ours was the Detroit collection, so whatever we did was going to just represent Detroit as a whole. So I was like, all right, we got to come with that fire. So, and I think we had like the biggest one they had up until that point.
Oh,
So
okay. Wow.
yeah, definitely honored to do that. That's what I'm saying. Like you talking about the highlights of the show. That was definitely a highlight. Going to London, that was a highlight personally for me.
Man.
Like I grew up in the inner city. Like to go to London, to do a show and talk about sneakers was just like,
And
wow.
we almost didn't do that collection with them either.
Yeah.
Because it was bamboozled. Because when we were there at the
Oh,
Nike trip, they had kind of brought up the idea, but not for us. They were just asking us. It's like, the shoes were supposed to come with a dust bag, and it was going to
yeah.
come with a book and the insoles. And they said, well, you can have two of the three. Which one? We was like, man, the dust bag and the book, because that'd be dope to really tell the story, whatever. So when they reached out to us like 2 months after we left there, and they said, let's do this. I was like, okay, you had go on Nike ID in practice because you had that, but more options. And then we're like, okay. And then when that time came, when we went on there, it was like, hold on. These options are the same as Nike IDs. We're not about to have our sneaker friends and people buy a same shoe they can make for $25 more.
For $10
Exactly.
more. Yeah.
It's like that's pointless. We got our integrity because once we leave this collaboration with y'all, we still got to go back to that community. You know what I'm saying? We still got to intermingle and be with those people and try to get those people to tune into us and entertain them. So we straight on that. They kind of like begged us to like kind of just follow through with it, and then it was supposed to be the next go round.
I should post that email I sent.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we straight.
Because I
We
went
agreed
off.
in solitude. Like, none of us was gonna do that. Like,
No, because I went because I went off, and like everybody was like, "Why you do?" Because like I was so bad. I was so mad. Because to Guru's point, like you get gassed up because they like you're gonna design your own shoes. So I'm thinking, I knew it wasn't gonna be a bespoke, and I knew it wasn't gonna be like a collaboration, like a union or whatever. So I thought it was gonna be somewhere in between that and then like idea, like somewhere in the middle, right, where we have more options, like as far as materials and colorways than a Nike ID, but limited. Man, we get on there, it was exactly like Nike ID.
exactly.
Wow.
I'm
Just
looking
like
at
it.
leather.
Wow.
I'm looking for the suede.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, what the fuck? Because they was like, we're gonna give you access to the search engine. And I'm like, no, I could have won a Nike ID a day ago and did this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
I
like,
mean,
so
things
look,
like that.
I was pissed. I sent an email, like, because that's how, like, dude, when I get mad and I get mad. And so I sent them this long ass email. And I was like, I quit. Like, I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. And it was actually my father. He was just like, yo, like, take this opportunity, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just work with him this time and then maybe next time. So, like, I kind of cooled off after I talked to him and then talked to the rest of the guru and everybody else. And I'm gonna also say this too, because this is something else they got from us, and this is why I tell brands now, like, cut that check. You know how now when you design a shoe, it comes with your name?
Yeah.
You're welcome. Me and Guru gave them that because they was trying to figure out, because we spent a whole day having that meeting.
that was day
Wow.
3. I want to say
Yeah,
day 3 because they
yeah,
asked us
we
about
said,
the QR code in the shoe.
yep.
Asked us about that. We told them about that. About having their name on it, Nike bio. It was something else that we told them as well
See,
too.
Diane's saying the same thing. See, she know,
That
but
is
yeah,
dope,
yeah.
man.
So the
But it
name of the
just
boxes, we was in that meeting. I don't know if it was the same day we went to go to the Trailblazers arena. I think it was the
No,
day
the
before.
Trailblazer Arena was by itself day 5. Day 4
Yeah, yeah.
was
So it
the
was the day
focus.
before.
Day 4 was the focus group because it
Yeah, it
was
was the day
two
before.
separate meetings. It was the one. It was almost like 3. It was the upstairs Nike Bayou Shoe Cultivator program.
We went in that
And
room.
downstairs was that
Yeah,
wow.
guy and that lady.
Yeah.
and they talked, and then that might have been
No, we
it was
went
a
to
long day.
Pensole after that.
Huh?
We went to Pensole and did a show after that.
Yeah, that was Peninsula Day. That
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
long day. That was a
That's
long day.
That was a
crazy,
long
man.
ass day.
Y'all,
But
Long day.
yeah, that was, I remember because I was like, if you're gonna do this type of stuff, like make it feel unique because the boxes came in Nike ID boxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's
They
I'm
crazy.
showed
like,
us
no,
the
like,
box,
so
like what they
we,
showed us
we,
and what they got wasn't it. So that's why when C be going ham on collaborations, I'm like, bro, we know firsthand what they say you can do. When
Yep.
it's time to do, they don't let
yeah,
you do. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
yeah.
I
Because
mean,
you want us to go out there and market this shit like it's a collab on some
right.
level, and then when they get the box, it's like this is a Nike ID. You know what I'm saying? That's not a collab. Everybody, if that's the
That's
case,
not at
everybody
all.
collaborating. Right. So we told
Man,
them because Guru said dust bags. I was like, yo, like put the name on their boxes. Like maybe have their signature on the lid or some shit. Or I even told them like do how y'all do with the Dornbreaker collection on the lid where it
mhm,
has the person and then what they about. And you know,
right.
like we get like shit y'all already doing. Just you know what I'm saying? Like just convert that idea to this. And yeah, and like they do none of that for us. But then later they started putting people's names on the boxes, and I was like, "Ain't this a bitch? Like we gave them all these
Man,
ideas."
Wow,
they told
that's
me they was gonna do a book and
crazy.
you could put pictures in the book that kind of tell the like a little
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
become like a little booklet. I was at my parents' house. I dug through like pictures from '99, 2000, because I was really looking. I'm like, man,
So
this
no,
would be
man.
dope. This tell a story. Like I'm gonna have pictures with it to show. Like I've been in the game. I've been part of it. You know what I'm saying? To incorporate it. Man, that came and went, bro.
Jeez, like yo. So,
Man.
was y'all on the campus or
Yeah,
any Nike
it was on the
labs?
campus.
Well,
Oh
that was like an offsite. It was
goodness.
like a satellite campus.
No,
That building, but that whole trip.
no, that building was on campus.
No, we had to catch a ride. That was like in the
No, we
off-site
had to catch the
factory.
ride everywhere. You know how big their campus is?
Yeah,
Nah,
very large.
the DNA was dog. That was a little bit
No,
off.
DNA was off site.
DNA was on there. We caught the
That's
shuttle.
crazy.
No,
After we left
DNA
the
because
main
remember
campus.
we had lunch. No, we had lunch and then we had to get in that van with the blacked out windows because they want us to know where we was going. And then we get to the DNA building. And that's when we met Wilson.
Yeah, I'm talking about, but that building because we had to ride with. It was just Brian. What's his name? Brian.
Oh wait, you're right,
Yeah, and
you're
that
right.
old girl. And we went
Because
when we
that was an
first went
incubator
in.
site.
Remember we saw them
Hey,
kids shoes
Nikki.
on the left. We was like, "What's this?" And that was later to this day.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
that's their little
yeah,
kid program.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because
So,
they got because the campus is so because at the time they were still built because they were still building the LeBron James building and they was building the Serena Williams building
yeah.
and
the Clemson
so the
built that good
campus
ass
was
building. We used
expanding
to
it
have it.
and Diane said pull that Goonies map out. but but
That's
yeah, so
crazy, man. That's
they had
crazy to make
off-site locations.
experience have that experience, man, and to be one of the ones that actually from even Saucony doing the YouTubers collabs and they doing their own that you get to see that vlog of how they was doing it.
Yeah,
And it's totally different from y'all experience. That's crazy. Like,
man, right. And
Because
Nike,
one,
this is the number
cause
one brand in the world.
one is in a position they're like on the come up, so they're gonna listen more. Nike feel like you should be honored, like you know what I'm saying. Like it's
yeah,
almost like
Yeah,
if who up there, if Nas did a record with you, he was like, you gonna get whatever 16 I send you. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna do
yeah,
opposed to somebody like I don't know who coming up like little
low
baby.
key.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be like a little bit more eager, get your feedback. So
So Neil.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
that's dope.
that's what frustrates me about Nike because to your point, Saucony was like, I mean, like granted, like Guru just said, they more prone to listen because of the position they're in, and I think that's what gets in Nike's way sometimes is their own arrogance because we're the number one brand, so it's like we don't have to listen, and it's like, all right, like you know what I'm saying, like dog, like what goes up must come down, right? Like you
Yeah,
think about every big company, every big corporation, country, anything that was big at one time is now small. It doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
you know, and so
man,
Spain was the superpower. Now they not. Egypt was the superpower. Now they not. Macy's was like the biggest store in the world. Now they're not. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So it's like, yo, like you're not gonna be number one forever. You know what I'm saying? You don't wanna speed that up by making dumbass decisions like not listening to your customers.
Yeah, exactly, man. Well, fast forward to now, if that opportunity comes back around to any company, would y'all even be interested, or y'all just want to just like, hey, let's
Oh yeah,
just, you know?
always down for the conversation.
Oh,
Always
okay.
down for the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything. I would too. I'll just have to see like what's their angle, like what is it for us, far as the opportunity, the
Yeah,
silhouette. We definitely. What's the options? Like what's how much control are you giving us? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So we professional, we polished. We're not gonna go in there talking crazy or do something stupid or
right.
what I'm saying, like, because you wouldn't even
Yeah,
trust us if it was like that. So that there's a genuine connection, and you seen from our prior collection what we were able to do. You know what I'm saying? And we had to stick to a theme like Detroit. We couldn't talk
yeah,
about really nothing else. So you seen that from us, and so now going forward, it's like, okay, and my thing is, it's not about the numbers. It's about you giving an opportunity to let these people do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are genuine people, and then that will slow. Everything is not a quick fix. You're not going to do a collaboration, you blow up overnight, and your brand shoot the top 3 on footwear news. Like,
Exactly.
it's not. It's showing people like, hey, this brand only mess with celebrities. We mess with the everyday people because y'all put more money in our pocket than they do. Because
yeah,
celebrities half the time don't buy nothing. The everyday people, but they pay for stuff. That's why I'm looking at Nike. You didn't want to give us no Kobe's, but you made everybody in the NBA a free pair.
Yeah.
If y'all
Exactly.
about money, how does that look? You know what I'm
PEs at
saying?
that.
Like,
yeah,
PEs.
so
It's
it's
yeah.
just like, but
crazy.
yeah, I
But
would
see,
definitely be down. New Balance, to me, if
but
I had to pick, New Balance would probably be the one where I'd be like, okay, see, looking at their track record with collaborations, I know that conversation may go a little bit easier than any other.
yeah, I would love to do an A6 though. I
Basic.
just ever since like the thing I love about the podcast is that it actually exposed me to more shoes. When we first started, it was George.
Mm-hmm.
But then it
Yeah.
like because I wanted to talk more sneakers, I had to like do my homework. And I love Asics. I love what they do because they consider to New Balance and Asics. Like it's funny every time I hear somebody talk about like when Jordan come out and like, oh the quality. Okay, why are you shocked by that? Like you should be getting that every week, right? Asics and New Balance do it consistently for less money, and we shocked when the Jordan actually has great quality on it, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what frustrates me.
Like a hit or
So
miss on the Jordan.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's like, but that becomes a selling point to buy some Jordans. Here's good quality. It's $200. It should have good quality, like.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I said, especially when your competition does it on a consistent basis for 120. And so but that's the game though because we've been so conditioned to buy either Yeezys or Jordans, we don't really fuck with anything else outside of that. And so,
I
and then we kind of sell ourselves on some bullshit. Like when that's why I get mad when we talk about a shoe and I be like the shoe is trash and they're like, but the quality. And I'm like, okay, first off, you don't know shit about the quality till you get it in hand. But you've
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
purchased it at that point.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? So that's not why you bought it. You know what I'm saying? You bought it before you knew anything about the quality. And that's why I get mad when people lean on that because I'm like, one, if it was about quality, you would have other shoes in your collection than just the 2 I mentioned. Right? You know what I'm saying? If it was just about that. And I think that just becomes the excuse sometimes. That's just like the fallback, like, quality. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I always give the analogy, like, if you got an ugly girlfriend and everybody clowning you, like, oh, but her personality. It's like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I hope
That's a
she
great way
trying to
to. That's a great way to
yeah.
put that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know
For
what I'm
real.
saying? Like, she
That's
better
a
have a
great
good
way.
personality. You
Right.
can't be ugly all the way around. Like, ain't nothing attractive about you. But,
Oh
I,
man.
yeah.
So getting into again, amazing how you guys almost 10 years in the game, from the sneaker world from then when y'all started into now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how do y'all do y'all embrace it? As far as like the hype, even a lot of the kids are getting into vintage now. Um, Fashion and it's incorporated more into sneakers now than where we had art. Rest in peace to Virgil. Um, a lot of dope things has came along since the Yeezy drop. The Nike Yeezy drop, and then he leaves Nike. A lot of designers leave Nike in between those years, like Mark Dolce. And a plethora of designers going to other and ventures and crazy stuff like that, man. So what's your opinion about from now to then?
That one, to be quite honest with you, the sneaker culture is a part of Black history. A lot of
Yep.
people don't want to
In
say
a
that,
big
but
way.
it's a part
In
of
a
Black
big way.
history. It's a
Yep.
part. We make everything cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's why everything we make cool ends up getting gentrified, from housing to music to fashion. You know what I'm saying? So movies. You know what I'm saying? Everything gets gentrified. So as someone who came up in an era where there was like, it was news articles like, oh, Black people spending $150 on Jordans, they're idiots. They ain't say it, but that was what they was getting at. You know what I'm saying? They said everything but it. You know what I'm saying? But from
But then when
going
they
to
kids buy
that
it,
to we was going to,
yeah,
we were fighting and shooting it, then to the point now where like it was oh, y'all over there doing that, spending money, to now it's a culture. Well, I wasn't a culture back then when we was spending money for it, when we was in line. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when blacks want to drag their feet, when Black History Month collection is like, yo, Nike, we put you on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Like all that before y'all was selling out and doing all this, y'all remember, like, we put you on your feet with the Jordan brand. Like y'all took a risk on a Black man and his Black culture and his Black followers, and your Black dollar built and established you. Because if he didn't work out, your company was going to bankrupt, and you said that.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I'm saying? So like going to now to the point where I started to see it was like, okay, you know, it's everything's for everybody. You know, we don't try to redline it, but we see when things come in and get to shifting and then the reselling. It's like now the game is all about money and opportunity. And it's just like that what makes it. A lot of brands are to fault for the lack of not want to do knowledge. Or you could have reintroduced commercials. Now is you can put a commercial anywhere. Y'all put you ads on YouTube. You can bring back that awareness. Like, to me, that's why when my son was 2-3 years old, even to this day, I try to find him older shoes. Like, I got Tim Hardaway's in there, the Air Bacon's in his size. Like, you can't feel them no more.
That's
like
dope.
Those shoes, because I can't. Nike's not recreating the same nostalgia I had, so now I had to give it to him on that level. So when they do bring back the Air Bacons for the third time, whatever, he'll have like, dang, I remember those my dad got them for me, because Nike's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? I have to tell him when he comes up the stairs and he sees my shoes, which shoes are those? Okay, these are Kobe's, these are Gradients. Like, boom, like I have to break things down because they've gotten lazy with it, because now you send a press release to a blog and they'll post it, or you'll leak some pictures of the shoes and then everybody go for it. So there's no effort in selling the shoes because we already established the culture. Oh yeah. And now everybody wants to be a part of it. So now you don't gotta sweet talk nobody. Before, we came from an era where you had to really talk to a girl. You know what I'm saying? Politics, game had to be right. Now you just dangle a couple of dollars and they're yours. So all the women who like that, not all the sisters who got morals, but you know. But now the same thing in sneaker culture. We dangle, put the shoe in here, we make it limited, throw this person with it, and everybody goes crazy. And it's like, it's unfortunate that people don't really get to genuinely enjoy it. Like, I seen people try. Like, I wrote the rules to the sneaker game. I put on my IG post. Like, that was curated for the things I've seen in that time period, you know? So it was just, now it's just people taking advantage of one another, or not looking out. Like, it's all about money because other people have gotten into it. And when you're not a part of a culture and you head into it first, you're doing what things become beneficial. And once it became profitable, especially in the secondary market, the respect for the culture, the fun went out the window.
That's great.
See,
how about
I
you?
want to piggyback off. I want to piggyback on what Groove said, because I mean everything he said was spot on. I think it's funny though, because like you talk about gentrification, like Nike just came out and admitted that, like, yeah, like sneakers are gentrified, our app sucks, and we've been banging that drum for like 3 years, probably 4 years now. Like, you know, that's why I always find it interesting when, like, I've said it on the show a million times, like, y'all paying people to tell y'all shit we be telling y'all for free.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've been saying this for years, and people would get mad at me for saying it. Like, I got text messages. People like, why you got to do all that? Why you got to say all that? Why you? And then just for y'all to come out and say the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got into it with the CEO over the Black History Month collection. He gonna try to tell me what Black History means. How a white dude gonna tell a black person what Black History means? You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine that.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
and so
crazy.
it was just like, you know, like, okay, bro. You know, like, I laughed when I think it was an article that came out last year where he was talking about Like he be on the sneakers app too, buying shoes. Like, shut the fuck. You
Nah,
want to see on Nike, bro? Don't bullshit me. Acting like you
bro.
one of us, right?
Yeah,
And so that, and then
That's
you know, kind of
biggest cat.
piggybacking off of the hype and stuff, and it's like, I mean, at this day and age, there's certain things I just realize are just part of the game now, like reselling. Like
that's
hype.
what's up, man.
It's just a part of the game now. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to deal with it. But like I got mad the other day. I'm not mad, just annoyed. Because I think, I don't know if you guys seen the videos, like Fat Joe, and he was like looking at DJ Khaled's closet.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
seen
he's
that
like,
recently.
sneaker god. I'm like, well, okay, first off, why though? Why, okay, first of all, the term sneaker god is stupid. Um, but then secondly, I'm like, he's a millionaire with access and resources and connections. Why the fuck are we surprised that this man has a lot of shit? I guess, like, the idea that we're shocked
Yeah,
and surprised that a billionaire bought things, paid money for expensive things.
and
Like,
you think
that's a
about it,
talent.
most of that stuff is for free. He
Yeah.
was
I'm like,
gifted to him. Like,
why are we acting like that's a talent? That's not a
yeah,
skill. You give anybody $1 million and say blow it, they could. Right? So to me, like, that's where we are now. Though. It's like, and so that's why, like, honestly, this is why I don't get excited when I see PJ Tucker's collection or DJ Khaled's collection, because I'm like, y'all millionaires. You should, what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
you should
Yeah.
be able to walk into a store and buy up the inventory.
Hmm.
Like, and so I'm much more impressed by a regular person because that takes skill. Because you have to work your way into rooms that you normally couldn't have access to. You have to there's a level of skill and work that you got to put in to get access to those shoes that you have in your collection that they don't have to. Like, they can just tell their agent or assistant, "Hey, find me this," and
Right, right.
here's my card.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even doing the legwork themselves. So, like, I'm like, that's why I get mad. Like, no, this is no knock on Joe Puma because I actually like him, but it's like I never understood why people like sneaker shopping. Like, why do I want to watch a rich person go shopping? Like, that's like taking somebody homeless and starving and making them watch MasterChef. It's like, why
Oh my
am I
goodness.
watching this? You know what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
Like,
think the sneaker shopping is not. I think it became where the celebrities wanted to prove how much. Remember, they were coming to a culture that we started, right? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when
uh-huh.
you make your first million, you gotta press them that, hey, I got this money, I got this. With sneakers, it was the other way around, where now they were influenced by us. That's why they be wearing Jordan with their Gucci and because or they're trying to wear stuff like us because now the tables are turned and now we're influenced because sneaker culture is something that they some of them I give it some of them were in it like I said this beat it to thousands the Wale's the Fat Joe's Wale said on his new album like y'all was back in '09 y'all was dressing just like me but y'all in the blogs dressing like me but
Yeah,
y'all
but for every
credit for it.
Wale, there's 10 Billie Eilish's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
they're
that's
trying to
that's what I'm
sell me
saying.
on
Like,
that
how did you?
bullshit.
It's the Wale's to me. The Wale's, Five Joes, the Barbados, the Clark Kents.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Those people
There
on the
you go.
celebrity side who they even when they tell about their color story, they got stories behind it. Money couldn't get me this shoe. My relationships got
Yeah.
me this shoe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's things like that, and it's just like when you see the NBA players, like okay, yeah, yo, Kobe Pat could because you're a Nike athlete. So every year before the season starts, they let you pick out your shoes and send them to me. And then, like, I think Jay Carter has said in the article that, yeah, they got the drop that Kobe deal wasn't going to renew before everybody else. So all the NBA players went up and bought all the Kobe's that they could.
Yeah.
Like, you had, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all Nike
Wow.
athletes and NBA players, y'all had
Wow.
printed information prior to us. And here it is, it's people like us. Hey, Alexa, stop. It's people like us who got to grind and work and look and scour eBay like I do. That took
Yeah.
me almost a year and a half to find some Kobe's for my son because they stopped making Kobe's in kid size like 2014, 2015.
Right.
But his
Right.
legacy still lives on. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
like, it's to me, I look at it, I'm
Oh,
like, dang, but
real
it's
quick,
what the game
I
comes
just
to.
want to add. I just want to add to what Guru said. I don't know if people know this, but you don't have to be a KD or a LeBron to get free Nike shoes. Like, Nike signs up like a lot of athletes to what they call
Yep.
like endorsement deals, to where like they don't have their own shoe, but they will supply you with any shoe you
Right.
want from Nike.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
that's why, like, when they go into like stadium goods and act like they about to buy an off white, like, no, you not. You already have that pair. Like, There's a story. There's a story.
Yeah.
I don't even want to tell it, but I just want to hint at it. There's a story about when they did Eminem, like, when he was here in Detroit.
Uh-huh.
I know what happened there. And one day when I get permission to tell it, I will. But it's like, that's what really set me off. It was just
Oh
like,
man.
okay, all right. So that whole show is bullshit. Okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, it bothers me. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, this is the height of sneaker content, right?
Oh
And
man.
so,
I would
But
love,
I
I,
be
love to
looking
get that
at these people
exclusive.
like I should DM them. Like I could have saved you so much money. Like you paid $450
Yeah.
for a low top playoff 12.
Yeah.
Like you could
Yeah.
have hired me. I could have got you for that shoe, and you could have like say. But some people, that's one other thing. What happens is there's a lot of naive people who get in the game, and the resellers take advantage of it. There's a lot of shoes that are going for prices that they shouldn't be, but people don't do their homework or know been the game
Right.
alone enough. Like, hey, we've been the game alone enough that you do not pay over $200 for a penny for.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you find you a Phoenix Suns
Yeah.
or the Black Orlando dead stock condition, no soul
Hold on one
separation,
second.
like that. But those people in the game who don't know no better and they try to buy their way in.
Yeah.
And that's what raises the price of sneakers everywhere, man. You're on the resale market.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, Nike cut.
Man,
Hey, look, hey, Nike cut. What they say in BMF? Nike cut C's water off. Cut his water off.
Man, we definitely in an hour into the show, man. Thank y'all for even man. Thank y'all for taking time out, man, and kicking with the kid. I do this every Tuesday, man. Sometimes I even go around my guest schedule, man, and sometimes I'm doing it on a Friday or Thursday. But it's always, man, I gotta tip my hat off and give you guys flowers, man, because y'all are the pinnacle of y'all career to where not too many people know that y'all been in the game this long, and then plus y'all set a standard for sneaker podcasts, man, and I had to bring y'all on the show, man, and really celebrate with you guys, man. So for real,
We appreciate that. To this day, I just feel like I'm a normal person. I'll go in there and I talk about sneakers that I love. I crack jokes on C's and everybody else. Like to me, it's normal. But when people DM me or reach out to me and say, "Hey, man, I'm happy that y'all," because I feel like we got a voice. It's almost feel like every time Hove make a deal, like, okay, this is like, okay, this represents black people. Or like, hey, we feel like we got a voice. Somebody who blew up but didn't forget where they come from. And to us, we feel like we got a long way to go. But everybody say, hey, man, we appreciate y'all. Y'all give a real voice. Y'all say points that are not popular standpoints. Like everybody feels like this shoe is the hottest or here and there, but no one can go back in the game and go back into the vault to say,
right.
where how long you been in the game or this, that, and the third. Everybody loves to say, oh, I've been in the game since Jordan came out on Wednesday, but you don't know why they came out on Wednesdays.
Right.
It was on Wednesdays. They moved it from Wednesday to Saturdays. The kids were skipping school because they was dropping them at 11 o'clock. We was skipping them third hour, but y'all wasn't out there. You can't tell me you've been in the sneaker game that long. Boy, you was in second grade. How was you getting out of your math class with Miss Sampson? You was catching the cab.
Hey, look, they skipping that time to go get some Jordans.
Stop it, man. Like,
man.
Come on, man.
No, you know what? I gotta say though, I mean, it's definitely been a blessing. Because we honestly, if I told you this was the plan, I'd be lying. Like, everything that happened kind of happened as we went along. Like we just took it in stride, good and bad.
Yeah.
And so, like, and I definitely appreciate people like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, come out and saying like, I guess giving us our flowers or whatever. Not that I'm looking for any credit or whatever, because I love watching other shows pop up. Because I know that we on some level gave people the inspiration to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, the only thing that frustrates me, and this goes back to what we were talking about gentrification, is that when you look at sneaker culture right now, like okay, what bothers me is like when I had somebody like ask me about the podcast, and they're like, oh, like Complex. I'm like, no, Complex is doing us. You know what I'm saying? We inspired them. You know what I'm saying? But because they're the bigger entity, that's what people know, especially people like sponsors and stuff. Like when I talk to them and like they like, oh, you guys are being like Complex. No, they're being like us. you know, and so it's frustrating because, you know, people like analytics have made it marketing lazy because all they look at is follower count and everything. And I'm
engagement.
like, that's not indicative of your impact. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So, because I always talk about like when we talk about like it's funny because Tinker Hatfield, if you look, I think a couple of years ago he only had like 5,000 followers. You look at Tiffany Beers at the time, she only had like 5,000 followers,
Mm-hmm.
but Tice Omar had like 100,000. Now you tell me who's more important to the game between
Yeah.
those two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but you know, and so it can be frustrating, you know, because sometimes, you know, analytics, especially when you talk about platforms like YouTube and Instagram, it's more about the quantity of uploads
Right.
as opposed to the actual substance of what you do. And so in that case, numbers do lie.
Oh yeah.
And and so it does get frustrating for me because, you know, you try to be creative and you try to do something unique and different. And entities like a complex will sit back and wait, watch you build it up to where it becomes viable. And then once they feel like it's safe, okay, now we're going to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost, you know, it's a little frustrating. It's like you build a house and then once you build the house, then here come, you know, people want to gentrify it, and then they buy the house, and then they change the curtains, and maybe give the outside exterior a paint job, and they want to act like they built it.
Great
You
way
know,
to break that down. Yeah,
you know what
definitely.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's a little fresh. That's the only thing that really bothers me,
Mm-hmm.
especially after last year. You know, all these brands like Black Lives Matter. I'm like, okay, like you know
Oh
what I'm saying?
man.
Like I just read an article, like especially like Adidas. Like, yeah, that's what I'm like, yeah, Adidas. Just sit back. Don't say shit. I don't want to hear nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like we just read articles about how you treat your black employees, and now you want to come and throw out a tweet.
Goodness
You know what I'm saying?
gracious,
Like,
man.
what's that tweet supposed to do? So that's the only thing that bothers me now. But
Yeah.
but I have to say, man, I love what what sneakers have allowed me to do. It's
Uh-huh.
allowed me to travel and meet people and connect with people that I never thought I would connect with. Um,
Mm-hmm.
have opportunities that I never thought I would have opportunities to do, and allowed me to hang out with my friends and get in some trouble. Like, um,
That's what's
you
up,
know,
man.
so it's a blessing.
I do have a question, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much, y'all probably gonna do probably something big. But what if it comes to the time where y'all celebrating 10 years, and how will you picture yourself, man? What y'all have planned or anything? Do y'all even have any plans yet or anything?
Uh, I never really thought about it. I mean, it's probably the first time I thought about it.
Yeah,
Um,
man, because
Wow, bro.
we just do the show.
yeah,
We just
Yeah,
look
just do
up
the
and be
show,
like, oh,
huh?
dang, that go 5 years. We do some more
yeah. Like
shows. We
we
look up
did
and
that
like, oh, that's
300
9
episode
years. Like,
not that long ago, and I'm just like, damn, like you know what I'm saying, like to do 300 episodes. That's a long ass time, and so yeah, like to Gru's point, like we just do. Like I don't think we really have a. I don't think we've ever sat down and said, okay, this is the trajectory we want to go. You know,
Yeah,
so but now that I'm thinking about it, I mean, I kind of want it to be. I mean, 10 years. That's a long ass time. Like
yeah.
you do want it to be a celebration of some level. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe we'll
I
shit.
think to me, not to sound redundant, but a sneaker release would be nice
Uh-huh.
because it's not so much about, oh, we have our own shoe or how much money we're gonna make off of it. We just want to be able to tell a story and people can be able to participate in that story through their purchase.
Oh
It's
yeah,
an
Like
acknowledgement.
that's the
that'd be
Yeah.
purpose of
nice.
our collaboration
Uh-huh.
because we want to put our city on. We try to put our city on the map sneaker wise because we
Yeah.
don't get a lot of releases. We don't have a lot of
Yeah.
tier zero accounts here like New York or LA. Somewhere
Right,
else.
right.
So we're at the point where we're just trying to be able to say, hey, these guys from Detroit. Burn Rubber has done it. Shout out to those brothers. But
Yeah.
we want to continue on. Like nobody stopped rapping after Sugar Hill in the game and no, what's the other dude name? Big Daddy Kane and all them, right? They came
Yeah.
Yeah.
afterwards. Everybody carried it. So that's what we want to do is just kind of take it forward. It'll be nice to celebrate that. And then also those people who support us along the way,
Mhm.
they can have some tangible things to look back on like that.
Have a
This is
piece of that. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That's what's up.
that would be nice, but we don't really know. I don't say we simple, but we just chill. we're not really bougie, so like that. But
And that's the crazy part because people think that like they think like, oh, C's so arrogant. Like I talk my shit on the show, but like, and Guru will tell you, like I've lost my voice plenty of times at events because I'm talking to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And
Everybody.
it's like, yeah,
Yep,
because
that's
I
how
got
I
on the
am
show.
too.
that's because
My
he's an
favorite,
influencer. He wants to grow his
my,
influence beyond.
get the
That's
fuck
why.
out of here.
That's why
My
he's an
favorite though,
influencer.
my
Man.
favorite is
Who argues
when
with the CEO of Nike? You know what I'm saying? He's an influencer, right? He gets shoes in. He don't even like LeBron, but he get
That's
LeBron
what's
sent to
up.
him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
yeah,
hold
that's
on,
an
time out. That's
influencer.
how you know I'm fair. Like, cause I'm not a big LeBron fan, but when we talk about his shoes though, like I'll say like he has the best basketball because I keep it like I'm fair. I don't let my bias
Yeah.
influence, how I judge his shoes. I
Except for
will say though,
Yeezys.
my favorite, no, Yeezys just suck. I'm sorry, bro. Like they ain't got nothing to do with.
You do not
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
Yeezys, bro.
No,
You
Yeah,
they
do
just
hater,
not
trash.
bro.
like
Yeezy
They
hater.
just trash. Like once again, I like his music. Well,
Yeah.
his older music, but like his shoes are garbage. Like he
But he just
said
said he
he
liked the
said
quantum, the all black
he
quantums.
he's no, that was one shoe. One shoe out of what? How many pairs of Yeezys does he come
But
out
you
with?
can't say they
Look,
trash like you don't like one shoe.
they trash. Listen,
Oh
if you
man.
batting, look, if after 100 at bats you only hit one ball, that don't make you a great
That
hitter.
means you got on base. You can't take that
Now
away.
you out of 100, like come on, bro. Look,
It's
point
some
is,
people who don't. It's some people who strike out all game.
if you got to compare yourselves to them, then I should tell you everything you need to know. Point is,
Oh, Yeezy, but that's for you though. Everybody will think
point
you
is,
think Yeezy's
Oh
trash though.
man.
point
You think
is.
Yeezy's trash, bro.
No,
But
I
he
was just
can.
they
But he
trash.
wearing
Like
them.
that's no other way to say it. Like Yeezys sell because of Kanye. They don't sell because of the shoes themselves.
Nah,
And
they
that
don't
was
sell
the,
because of
and that
Kanye.
was the
They
magic.
don't be
And that
selling
was the
because of
magic
Kanye.
behind Jordans though, because as great as Michael Jordan was, which obviously helped the shoes sell, the shoes were dope too. Like since when you got dope shoes being sold by a dope athlete, those things combined. I mean, that's why Jordan still have the longevity that they have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
True.
and so like that's what makes him unique. Like that's why he's outselling people currently playing today. Like it's crazy. Um, and so that's magic. Like when you have Michael Jackson, you have somebody who can sing and dance like he could. That combines to make you the greatest entertainer ever. If
Yeah.
all you can do is dance but you can't sing, well, that's half the equation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I don't even know because this is what happens a lot of times. Guru gets me off. Gets me off
Because can't
center.
run
I go
exactly because we driving.
oh,
He
well, I
talk
was
like
talking
he
about
drive.
no. So no. So
That's
when
what's
we would
up.
go, my favorite thing when we would go and we would talk to people is the people you know have beef with you and they call themselves trying to confront you.
Oh
And
my goodness.
I
Oh,
love it. I
don't get me
love those
started.
moments. But they never go the way they thought it would, right? Because a
Yeah.
lot of times people don't know how tall I am or how big I am. So a lot of times I seen one dude, I think it was in Chicago, and he was walking at me. He looked like he had intention. And then as he got closer, he like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, he like, oh, let me change my attitude real quick. And
Oh
he
man.
adjusted. And that was
Oh.
hilarious to me. But we had a good conversation. And then you got other people that walk up to you and they'll say some shit and they'll chirp. And, like I said, I have a conversation with them too. And then they actually walk away with respect because they're like, damn, he had that same energy,
Yeah.
that he had on the show. Like, this ain't just me sitting in the booth talking shit because I feel safe. Like,
Right.
this is how I am. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's
yeah,
crazy, man.
All
For
right,
we went
real.
to Nike
exactly,
with
man.
that.
Rolling with C's, man. We leave the award show. I gotta leave. I gotta ride in a separate car. You know what I'm saying? I'll be in the one in the back. I sing
That's
Suge in that
crazy,
picture of the
man.
BMW. Nope, I'll be in the back. I've been in more beefs in the podcasting than I've been in real life, all because of C's. I've been in more beefs than that. Man, I clown people all throughout high school. Crack
Yeah.
Listen,
not a
when
scratch
you,
on.
listen, listen, when you doing things like, like we had beef on the show, like we had people that we used to be on the show and then they left. Well, they left because I kicked them off. But, when it's, because when you build something and then somebody has the nerve to tell you, 'cause, at that time the show was starting to take off and so it was getting fielded by sponsors and shit like that. So we're
Uh-huh.
talking money.
Yeah.
People talking about cutting it 3 ways, but the work wasn't getting cut 3 ways. So I was like,
Wow.
I'll be damned if I'm gonna do 100% of
Right.
the work and then cut the check 3 ways. It ain't happening. So then somebody had the nerve. Juan had the nerve to sit there and say, "Well, I made the show." My dude,
Whoa.
the show was the show before you got here. Like we was already established. We gave you a voice. You know what I'm
Whoa.
saying? Like So I remember telling him bet, and no bullshit. About a month after he left, it went from like 7,000 downloads to like 30 in like a month, and like every month, and then it just grew and grew and grew from there. And then that's when we started traveling, and then
Yeah.
that's when we went to London. This all happened after he left, so I'm just trying to figure out, like what Jay-Z said, like you made Jay-Z go make another one, like
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You made the podcast go make another one, and you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that's how you
Right.
feel. So,
All right. As far as like your peers, man, what's some of y'all favorite podcasts, man?
the sneaker
I,
box.
the Sneaker Box, yeah, I like the Sneaker Boxes. Oh man.
uh, Actually, I do from time to time. I listen to the sneaker podcast. Those are guys up in Canada.
Yeah.
They make me laugh because especially they have such a because I mean when we travel, like different areas have different vibes and they have different points of views and
Oh, of course. Yeah.
different styles and stuff. And so that's something I've always enjoyed too. Like what I'm saying, like I didn't get the Vans until we started traveling to the West Coast, and I seen how popular it was out there. And so, I enjoy listening to them. Those guys are kind of funny. You got
Yeah.
Sean Scholar, and
Yeah.
you
Shout
got
out to
Eugene.
Shine, man. Big
Yeah,
influence in the game and
I had to
especially
apologize to Sean because I hijacked his. He made that post. That's when I got into it with Virgil.
yeah.
And
I remember that.
yeah, I didn't mean to hijack his post like that. Like I didn't want to take away from,
Right.
that's his post. Like I don't want to take away from him, but
Yeah,
it
but
ended
it's
up
all
becoming.
love though. It's
Oh
all
yeah, it's all love. And rest in peace to Virgil.
yeah.
You know, like you know, it's unfortunate the timing of all that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. I
And
still
we
stand
made
on what I said,
history. We made history in that comment section, didn't we?
man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
Because he an influencer, man. That's all,
Yeah.
man.
I just look at it like this. I look at it a lot of times. It's like, all right, I just like want to start a conversation, right? I just want to get people to think.
Yeah.
Right? And I think for the longest time, we just get caught up in the hype of a shoe. We don't really question it. Like Guru said something earlier, he was talking about like how Nike and Jordan Brand doesn't tell a story, so he felt like he has to, right? He has to fill in the blanks. And I agree with him. And I think that's where Virgil got away with a lot of his
Yeah.
lazy ass designs. It was just like, okay, well, because Jordan Brand ain't telling the story, he gets to get away with nostalgia by essentially releasing the exact same shoe just with minor differences. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so to me, that's like it was lazy, but because Jordan Brand wasn't doing their job, it gave him cover. You know what I'm saying? He
Oh
gets to
yeah.
say nostalgia without actually doing anything.
But
You
That's
know,
true.
I be trying to tell C's though is that it's just today's like back. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Back in
Gloria.
the '90s, you had to put in effort and talent with your music because the listeners were more diverse and they had zero tolerance for whack music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
you had to impress them, right? So
yeah,
Lauryn Hill was dropping the same day as DMX and Ja Rule, you know what I'm saying, Jay-Z,
yeah.
and then she had, you know what I'm saying. Nowadays, the current audience or the current majority, because we've become the minority, the OGs or they like things with just minor tweaks or just whatever, and it doesn't. But here's my thing: that's their real introduction to that shoe, the Jordan 2 for real.
Right.
Because a lot of people went around when they was retro in the low top twos, and when a couple of the UNC low twos dropped, nobody really touched them. But when Virgil touches them, they would do minor tweaks. It's just like, oh, we love this, and it's just like now
Okay,
it's like auto
okay.
tune.
See,
Like the auto tune, like
let's.
people love.
Uh-uh.
They love.
No,
I'm saying I don't
no,
agree with it.
no,
I'm
no.
saying it
Let's
was
stop the
the most.
bullshit.
Okay.
Because see, no,
Let
no,
me
no, no,
finish.
no,
Let me
no,
finish. Let me
no, no, no,
finish.
no,
I'm
no.
saying it
Because
wasn't the most creative.
I
I
get what
think
you're saying.
I
Here's the
think his
problem with that.
success attributes
Agree or
to the.
disagree? Go ahead.
No, here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that. One,
Uh-huh.
like when you like work ethic, right? You either have it or you don't. I understand people are going to get away with what they think they can get away with,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But somebody who has work ethic, it doesn't matter what the boss allows them to get away with. They're going to go in and do a good day's work because that's inherently in them. It's
That's
like
in it.
integrity, right?
Yeah.
Integrity is not influenced by what other people do. It's something that you have inside it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you know you can get away with stealing some money and nobody's going to see you, integrity is going to kick in. Like it doesn't matter who sees you or doesn't see you. I'm not going to steal that money. You know what I'm saying? So just because you can get away with being lazy doesn't mean that it's okay with being lazy.
No,
So
what I'm saying,
Yeah.
see, is that what he was allowed to, what he did, and how it was accepted, attributed to the lack of accountability from the consumer's part.
Oh, no, I
That's what
agree
I'm
with you.
saying.
No,
That's
we
what
agree with you. I'm
that's what
just
I'm
saying
saying.
from a Virgil
Like, yeah, but
standpoint.
nowadays you can put in minimal effort on collaboration and it could blow up because
No,
the
I agree with
consumers
you.
are
I
the
agree with you
majority
on
of
that. I'm
hype
just saying
beasts
from
are.
Virgil's standpoint, I'm talking about strictly from Virgil's standpoint. I agree with you. The community has gotten to the point now where they can come out with anything, slap Union or Off-White or Supreme on it, and they're just going to eat it up, right? Like Supreme gave you all white Air Force Ones, and they ate that shit up like it was something unique, some unicorn they never seen before, right? So I know. But I'm saying from a Virgil standpoint, like, yo, like as a designer, if I'm gonna call myself a designer and a creator, and I don't add anything design wise to this, but a zip tie, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this to me is just like, we've reached the point now where you can just put your name on something and call it. Like that's why I use the reference of the Emperor's New Clothes. Because this man convinced everybody he's wearing clothes, right? And he really wasn't. Nobody wanted to call him out on it. Everybody was perfectly willing to go along with the bullshit until a kid was like, he's naked. And everybody was like, oh yeah. Like all of a sudden they had vision, and so that's why I always use that as a reference. But see, once again, he gets me on attention. I finally, I forget what I was going to say.
But also, see, like, I think to me, like, I feel like it's like a little gray area we probably never know, right? Unfortunately. But like, prime example, you said he just felt like he slapped his name on it, right? Boom, 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 right? But we had that same experience dealing with them, right? Where they just wanted you to, just touch it a little bit, and that wasn't the case. So I always want to know, and that's why I don't hold him to that standard to the full extent you do. Did you have that same issue that we did?
You know why I can't subscribe to that? Because one, they didn't. First of all, they reached out to him to do a collaboration, like a full-on collaboration. This wasn't. Time out. It wasn't like us. They didn't give him Nike ID. They didn't say this is going to go through Cultivator.
They put him in a room.
That's something on something else. That was a whole different level. To sit there and compare the conversation he had with them with the conversation we had is a little disingenuous because we both know it was more than that. You know what I'm saying? They gave, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a little different.
But his opportunity came from Kanye leaving, and Kanye left because he felt like they didn't give him a lot of control over his sneakers and out of his collaboration, which is something we know that is a thing coming from Nike. That's all. I'm not saying he's 100%.
No, Kanye wanted to come up with his own shoe. Virgil didn't come out with his own shoe. He just retconned a lot of shoes, a lot of Jordans and Converse. So once again, there's a difference. It wasn't like Virgil created his own shoe. He just went in and he did a collaboration, and so once again, that's where the differences are to me. And so once again, like because I imagine, and once again, I can go back to if you want to use us as an example, when they said you can only do this, what was my response? I was pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Like I was mad as hell. Like I didn't just sit there and say, "Okay, well I'm just gonna slap
but everybody is not gonna. I feel like everybody's not.
Well, I can't speak for everybody. Who am I speaking for?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm speaking for Steve. You know what I'm saying? Like,
thank you. That's all I was saying.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I'm just voicing my frustration because, like, once again, I think we've reached the point now.
It's great to keep it real, man, because you guys. Man, y'all have great points. Both sides.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I love Guru because and that's what I mean by balance, because everything he says is factual. Like, I'm not saying he's wrong. All I'm saying is like, yo, like if you don't have a standard, then what do you hold people to? If there's no standard, where's the accountability?
Asking for standards in the 2021, 2022 sneaker community. Like that just went out the window.
And that's where I feel like
when they ran through the mall for them All-Star game back in Florida, the gang was going in.
I wouldn't say it was gone.
Like Will Smith movie when he was in space, just chilling. Like that's what now it's on autopilot. Like
I wouldn't even say the game was gone there, because like we've always had hype. If you think about it, like people was getting shot when I was in the 5th grade over, like people was getting robbed in the 80s over chains and shoes or whatever. So like that's not new. I think the problem I have is, well, one, I think it's dumb to rob or fight anybody over a pair of shoes.
Of course.
That's just dumb, right? Yeah. But I think the problem I have is that now, like, we've become consumers to the nth degree, right? We're in sneakers. We're just consuming. for the sake of consuming without actually thinking about what it is we're consuming,
Yeah.
right? And that's why I'm like, yo, y'all need to question, like, hold these brands accountable. Like, if these brands ain't got them, like Guru said it earlier, they ain't got to market to you. They ain't got to put no work in marketing. They ain't got to put no work as far as the quality of a shoe. Because let's be honest, more often than not, the quality on Jordans are subpar and basic, right?
Right.
But we'll still buy them. They still sell out. You know what I'm saying? So we're not hold them accountable as far as pricing, material quality, marketing, on any level, but we're still buying their shit.
Yep.
Like, where's the accountability? Like, you know, Marcus Jordan basically backdoored all his shoes. And I guarantee you the next time we do a collaboration, people are going to still kill themselves to get it.
But
Yeah,
you know
there's
what?
another one
As
coming up
we
soon.
as a community, we don't hold them accountable. Is like right now, if we the people who's truly in it, if we pull the plug on buying from Nike, they will still thrive and they wouldn't really matter to them because we become the majority. We become the minority. We should have did that when we were the majority, when we were the face of the sneaker community. But now that the hypebeasts will
Whoa.
consume anything,
Right.
that's not if they would pull the plug. We pulled the dollar because, as Rick Ross said, I watched this whole debacle, and I'm partly to blame because it was times I was pissed at Nike,
Whoa.
and I still went out and bought my LeBrons, my Kobe's, my Pennies, like my Air Maxes, my Griffeys. So like, and I think we still buy it because we feel like Nike is a part of our black culture. Like, can't stand them, but I'm gonna buy it because we don't have as much history tied with Adidas, New Balance, and everybody else as we do with Nike. So
No,
that's why
we
they
do.
getting
You
through
notice
it.
what he said? We
Uh-huh.
still buy it for those reasons, right? And I'll
Right.
admit, like, I'm too hooked on this drug to ever get off. But, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I'm talking about this new generation. They don't
Hey,
have
but
that
that's,
same
hey, that's
connection.
because he has a pharmaceutical logistics business.
See, they all with me.
that's
Oh, too.
that's what
But
all,
no,
let's
all
see.
right.
real quick,
He's a
there's a
kingpin of the show
comment.
for a reason.
There's a comment here. Shout out to Neil.
Yeah.
I
Shout out to
respect.
each and every one of y'all, man, in the chat, man. Rather if it's y'all,
Yeah.
my followers, their followers, man. This is a great, great, great
No, no,
episode.
no.
I'm glad you guys here. And
I want to
we
address
could,
this comment though. We got time to?
well, it was a comment that
Yeah,
someone.
Yeah,
that's the question.
we got time.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, go ahead.
There's a comment here. Shout out to Neil. He's here in Detroit. He has Sneakers Detroit, and shout out to Sneaker Fetish. Honestly, I love him.
For real.
I
Salute
love
to
what he
him as
does, and
well.
so that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out because, like, you know, if I have two friends and I feel like there's tension, I'll try to intervene. He said he's horrible for the culture or awful for the culture.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know why, like what he meant.
Salute to everybody, man. Yo, we get some heavy hitters in the building. We just
Like,
my man
oh, there's a
Sean,
scholar.
Yeah,
Sean, he
C's
just
bring them out, man. The influence, man. He bring them out.
yeah,
I,
Sean, Sneaker Fetish. Goodness gracious,
what?
like a lot, some heavy hitters coming in.
Yeah.
Real quick,
Wait. Why? Okay, wait. See, no, okay. He calls me an influencer because I put in work to network. So
No, no, don't
guess
hit me
that's
with that
an
political air.
influencer.
Don't hit me with that 2 weeks before the election
No,
debate answer. You're not gonna hit me with that,
no,
big
fuck
dog.
that. No,
You're
Sean,
an influencer
no,
because
Sean's
you
the
argue with the
influencer. Like,
brands,
look,
you get free
Sean's getting
stuff,
gifted
and
every
you're a
every other week.
YouTube star. You're a YouTube star. You get the ladies. That's why you're an influencer, bro.
yeah.
Not because you wrote articles for Sneaker Bar
Oh
Detroit
my
and you did all
goodness,
this
that's
macro
crazy.
stuff and man.
You know
Uh,
what that is? That's jealousy. That's
all
No,
right,
that's
that's
jealousy. I pride myself being the least famous person on
oh,
the show.
we
I agree
actually
with that.
talked about
I be the Kareem Biggs on Rockefeller. Y'all can all dance in the video, but we all get the same pay, and we all got rock chains, and we all in the history books. Y'all can go
all
dance
right.
in the
See, no,
video.
no. Let me clear this up right now. Let me clear this up right now.
Go ahead,
Let me
dance.
clear this because he's gonna make it seem like I'm off of myself. What
oh
happens
my
is,
No, you
goodness,
know,
man.
what
you,
happens is,
no,
no, no.
you relish your celebrity. That's all. You're not off of self.
What celebrity?
Oh man, all right, man. We
What
segue,
Right.
we
celebrity?
segue,
No,
this segue
look,
Well,
because no,
into
let's
I
answer
talk to
Neil's
people.
question, man. We don't
No,
want to turn
because
into the
look,
C's interview.
I'll talk to people. I'll talk to people, and I reach out, and I have
oh my
conversations with
god. Y'all
people.
see why I love these guys?
And so and so because I talk to them often, they talk to me, like they're aware of me. So like I'll say plenty of times, like Mitchell Ness, yo, can you send Gino and Guru some jerseys? So You know, they'll quit, getting on my ass every other week about
Hey,
what.
hey, when he type up that
And,
email, he put that request in the size 6 font, fine print. But when he put in his request, he used the Roman font in the size 24. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
Can
no,
I
God.
I
please?
showed them.
Can I
I
have please,
showed them
Joe?
the email where I said, please, I give them the size
Bro,
and
they
everything.
have to unretire some jerseys
They've
just to
yet,
give them the
they've
C's,
yet
bro.
to
They had to
respond.
go to New York MetLife Stadium to go get the Joe Namath jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like they got to unretire jerseys. Like
Oh my
they be asking
goodness,
Will
man.
Chamberlain
Bro,
family, can we get this jersey from the rafters from crypto to
come
let
on, man.
C's wear? You know what I'm saying? You gotta
Come
get them.
on. Look, anybody that knows anything about,
Oh my
sponsorships
goodness,
and
man. This
networking with the
is
brands,
so
they
funny.
know a lot of times it's hard enough trying to get your shit, let
Uh-huh.
alone getting it for other people. You
That's
know what
Bro,
I'm
you
saying?
were the
crazy, bro.
same size as the NBA players, bro. They can
Oh
send
my
you.
goodness.
You're the reason why
Bro.
Kawhi Leonard left his Jordan deal, bro. You don't stop playing with me, bro. Don't make me
Okay, all
really
right.
tell. Don't make me last dance you. Don't let me Scottie Pippen you. Last.
All right, fellas. All right, fellas,
I
man.
got a
We
book coming out too.
let's segue into my next questions, man.
Go ahead.
We discussed Virgil, man. Again,
Yeah.
RIP to him.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Yeah.
are your favorite or businesses or even designers that's hot right now that y'all looking forward to more collabs with Nike or even A6 or some of y'all favorite uh, designers out right now?
Ooh. Uh, well, I would say this off the top of my head. Um, and shout out to, first of all, shout out to my man, Rick Medeiros. We had him on the show, man. Like, brilliant guy, just awesome, man. And he's with Under Armour now. He was with Nike. He's with
Okay.
Under Armour now.
Yeah.
Also, man, I'm about to get her name wrong. Amy. I can't remember. That's her last name. I'm trying to remember her first name. Anyway, because me and her were having a conversation, and one of the things she said was she wished that the brands would shout out the designers whenever a shoe would come out.
Mm-hmm.
That they would shout out the designers because we all know about the Tinkers and we know about the Jason Petries
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
people like
Yeah.
that.
Uh-huh.
And so, but we don't know about any of these new designers that are coming out with some new stuff. And I got to tell you, some of the stuff I give Nike a lot of shit, but like when I think about the Cosmic Unities, and I think
Mm-hmm.
about the GT series, the GT cuts, and you got the up and coming GT Jump that's supposed to be coming out.
Oh
That
yeah.
shoe looks awesome,
Yep.
and whoever designed that, they deserve to have their name put out there, because that's such a Nike always. I will say this: when it comes to technology as far as sneakers, I do find myself being amazed. Like we could sit there and talk about the aesthetics and how it
Mm-hmm.
looks,
Yeah.
but performance-wise, I've always been amazed by them. By how they're always able to take their air technology and continue to advance it. You look at you counter that with like Adidas, right? They have
Right.
Boost. First of all, they don't even own Boost. Secondly, what they've done with it, I mean, it's already reached its peak. Like they had the NMDs and they rode that wave and then they kind of just died. Now they got a bounce, right? But even that doesn't even have the same cachet as Nike Air, because you got Nike Zoom, you got double stack Zoom, and you got like the way they're able to always change it up and make it feel new
Oh
and
yeah.
give
Oh
you
yeah.
something different, man. It's just like I'm always amazed by that, and so the designers behind that I think deserve to have their name out there and given their due by the masses. As far as like a collaborator, oh man, I mean, what's the name is having this moment right now, Jason Whitaker. uh, with I'm in your
Mm-hmm.
social status. But I wasn't really that crazy about the shoes. Like they were cool, but like people say sneaker of the year, I'm like that's just the shoe you know. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
think people conflate shoe of the year with hype shoe of the year.
Hype
Like
shoe of the year.
like,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
that don't make it the
slapped it
best shoe.
with a label of already gave it the sneaker of the year when it first dropped. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
there's
because
so
think
many
about it like this: Madonna
crazy.
always outsold Whitney Houston, but we all know who was the better singer,
Yeah.
right? So like
James
you know what
Whitner,
I'm saying? So
yo.
that's
Shout out to Sean, man. He mentioned another dope uh, content, like just bringing bangers out. You know what I'm saying? As far as like a designer, I'm a Ronnie Five type of guy. You
That's my
know?
guy. That's it.
Yeah,
Yep.
man.
That's it.
Uh, he's
Yeah,
he's
Ryan.
so
Yeah,
like
Ronnie.
he's so
Ronnie. Yeah.
creative, especially with
Yeah.
material. He knows how to
Yeah.
pick material with the right color,
Yeah.
and that's not too many people that can pull stuff that
But
he
see,
does off.
he's a true collaborator in his truest form because I feel like he approaches every collaboration, and they all have, they hits and misses, but I think consistently he's shown you
Mhm.
like I'm bringing something new to the table. I'm bringing a new, like the way, like you said, the way he's able to mix materials and colors and the concepts he comes up with.
Yeah.
That's a true collaborator. And even as much as I'm not a big fan of all his shoes, especially the Crocs, but I look at Slade, as another one.
The
You know what I'm saying?
Crocs.
Like
Yeah, that's
where
what I was
Yeah.
on that.
where I might not agree or I might not like the shoe, but I can at least
Mhm.
appreciate the uniqueness of it and what he brings to the table. And so, like I said, a lot of these people they come and do the bare minimum and then slap their name on it, and I'm supposed to be impressed by that. And it's like,
Yeah.
good.
I
I
was
know
I was
some. Go ahead, Guru.
I would say like he said. I would say Salehi what he did with the 2 New Balances, the Crocs. I like when what he did with Versace. I like when brothers
Yeah.
get the opportunity and they knock it out the park.
Mhm.
Ronnie, he of course he goes without saying. Um,
Alele,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
oh
another one.
yeah. Shout to her.
Alele, yeah,
Yeah.
collaborations are dope.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she's getting better. Like each one is
Yeah.
getting
She's
better than
growing.
the last.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
She's definitely growing.
yeah.
yeah. So that's
Uh,
kind of how I kind of it's. I guess now they've kind of like instead of spreading the collaborations out, they just give more to the
Mr.
people they
Bailey.
dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You
Your
want mute?
sound went on.
A lot of nice dope New Balances.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people sleep on them. So that's
Oh, it's
kind
somebody
of
else that did a New Balance. Shit. He had the outdoor. What was it? Oh man, the freshwater or
what are you talking about?
Was it Joe Freshgood?
Joe
Joe.
Freshgood. Oh, he did the New Balances. He did have a New
Yeah,
Balance
he did
collab.
Yeah,
a
Yeah,
New
and he had a
Balance.
Converse collab too. Yeah,
yeah,
Joe Freshgood is dope too. Yeah.
Justin
yeah.
Benson. He did he's actually worked on that team as well. Um, Mark Dolce, working on the pennies. He's
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
phenomenal with the penny line.
Eric Ava too with the
Yes,
phones.
sir.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
worked on a
Yep.
lot of people. A
Yes,
lot of
sir.
people don't know like Penny working on the Penny line. Kind of
Rich
I don't say
Paul.
it birth, but it was the prequel to Eric Ava going to the Kobe's and knocking that out the park and things of that nature. So yeah, I definitely
I can.
as far as the designers.
I want to defend the sneaker fetish real quick because I know Neil. I'm looking at the comments and like I'm still trying to figure out like what that what that came from. And maybe I'll call him later to get more info. But
Mhm.
I will say this about sneaker fetish. Like I felt like when you talk we have our show, you got people have their shows. And most people are jockeying for sneaker content, trying to make a lane for themselves. And I think he came in with more of a journalistic. Like if you watch his videos, he pulls out facts, and
Yeah, he does.
he has all the receipts to back up everything he says.
Yeah.
And it's almost like he does these exposés, So Savvy and Kai and all this other stuff, and it's like, wow, he does his homework, and I think that's so needed in this space because, like I said, and first of all, there's no journalism at all. Even my stuff is more opinion pieces.
Mhm.
But he comes in and spits facts. When you got all these blogs, like they're rushing to be first, so there's no integrity in it. You know what I'm saying? They just trying
Yeah.
to put it up first. So they're not thinking about, okay, like what's journalistic about it and what facts are we adding in here and all this other stuff. Like that's secondary to being
Oh yeah.
first.
Oh yeah.
And he's coming out like, no, let's talk about this. Let's deep dive into this. And I mean, honestly, I told him like, you doing God's work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I commend him for it because it's like, I wish I had the time to deep dive into shit like that. But it makes it easy for me because I can just source and reference his shit and then talk about it as if I knew it already. So Yeah,
Man,
nice.
Oh
you
yeah.
out here, you out
Yeah,
here sampling, huh, Puffy?
Oh
yeah.
Dang.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
no,
like
I love,
I
but no, I
enjoyed
love Neil
the
too,
Nah, I'm
though.
messing with you. I'm
I
messing with you
enjoyed
on
that
I
that.
love you
episode
too,
where
though.
he broke down the what the Paul Rodriguez dunk. Like I'm a P Rod fan, and to
Yeah,
see him break each piece from that dunk was totally amazing.
he does his
He,
homework.
yeah, he
I got to
really
give it to him.
does, man. And man, I just have so much respect for him, but even uh, doing what he does at a his own rate. It doesn't like that. It doesn't matter if he's doing it weekly or when he drops, it's enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
he doesn't he doesn't like take long time or with he just goes straight to the point. He tell you this is what is going for. He even does predictions. I enjoy his prediction because most of the time he's accurate. I don't know
Yeah.
how, but you know,
Well, when you
but
stick to the facts and you base your opinions on that,
yeah,
it's easy to kind of, you know, predict, within a uh certain frame where, things are going to go. I mean, I got so much respect for him because I know how much
yeah,
work it takes
yeah,
to,
man, he
like,
really
I know how much
does.
work it takes for us to do our show. So and he
Mhm.
goes a little bit further into each story. So,
Mhm.
I'm like, I know how much work that takes. And I'm like, shit.
Segue into our peers. Who are your favorite sneaker YouTubers to watch at this time? I know for years and years, we had our Jumpman Bostics, our
I'll tell
DJ
you,
Dales, but now who are your favorites right now? I say your top three.
well, as far as YouTubers,
Yeah, yeah, or just content
Mm,
creators in
oh,
general.
creators,
Yeah,
Mike
mm,
Rich.
I
I got
say
I, Mike Rich is
Nightwing.
always gonna be my favorite, just because,
Nightwing.
like, I how he started.
yeah,
Right, he's taken off because we kind of started around the same time, and I remember he reached out to us because we were still in Jumpman's basement, and he was like, "Check out my channel," and I shouted him out like every show, and then just to see him grow
right.
and just blow up the way he did, I'm like, man, I like, as a friend, I'm like, man, I was just like so happy to see it. Um, Nightwing, to me,
Nightwing. Yeah,
is the best YouTuber out. Like it's not even close to me,
yeah.
because what he does is give you I mean, because he has personality, and he gives you a breakdown of the performance. He gives you some historical context. He gives you
Hmm.
some cultural context. He gives you such a balance of everything. There's almost like a one-stop shop. Like, you can watch his video and get everything you need about that shoe. And then I love how he's added his wife, and that kind of gives the dynamic. Like, because
That the
she's into
chemistry is
speakers, but she's
there. I
not.
like that.
Yeah, and so you have
Yeah,
that engagement of somebody who's not. So it's almost like he has to explain things to her. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And so I love that chemistry. I mean, they should have chemistry. They married, right? But I love
yeah.
that chemistry they had. And, like, to me, by far, he's the best YouTuber on the planet. And then Jock Slade. Jock Slade is in a category of his own.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's YouTubers and there's sneaker content, and then there's Jock Slade. Jock Slade has his own category. Like, I
Oh my
always tell him,
goodness.
because so we got like this, he got this, like, uh, I guess, little brother, big brother relationship, because, like, I'm always telling him how he sucks, and he's always, like Guru telling me how much of an influencer I am, and
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like, okay, like, but I love him, like, for, like, just the fact that as a black man to see uh what he's been able to do in the world of sneakers. I mean, he's taking it beyond that. Like, dude's on Disney Plus.
I know, right?
He's on Disney Plus with what's my man from Jurassic Park? Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Jeff. Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? He was in the original Fresh Prince of Bel Air trailer that they've converted into a new show.
To a
Like,
new show.
he's
Yeah.
taking it. He had a show on NBC during the Olympics. Like, this dude is he's taking it. Like, basically, he's showing you where this can go if you just work
Right.
hard enough. And there's other people too. Like, I love NGR 23 Day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talking about
Ah,
information.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So much information in there. I like everybody, because I do find myself kind of scrolling through YouTube and watching different videos. I like what people bring to it. Like, even Tony D, and as silly as it is
Hmm.
and whatnot, it might not be as informative, but you know what, that's his personality. That's what he brings to it. But
Right.
you know, and like
That's
I mean, it's
five already. That's your top five.
No, dang, take up everybody. See, just
but
go
no,
ahead, name
I
everybody
mean,
on
no,
your
it wasn't my top five. That was just okay. Wait. If we're doing top
He
five,
said three, bro.
I said
Don't
three.
just.
You said he gave me
oh, okay,
five.
all right, all right, I'm done. I'm done.
But yeah, go ahead. The top three. You said.
He already said, well, mine's Nightwing because I'm a heavy Nike basketball person.
Uh-huh.
So Nightwing, I enjoy watching Nightwing. Tony and Bull, you know how they style it with their clothes and their perspective. There's pretty dope. Who else I watch? Talks with TJ. She up and coming. Yeah, she
Shout
good
out my
people. Yeah,
girl.
talks to TJ. Hers is
Yeah.
dope. Who else I watch? And then it used to be Kicks Genius because I like to hoop in my shoes. So Kicks
Kicks
Genius, those dudes,
Genius. Oh, they OGs, man, in the performance
So
game.
to them dudes,
Yeah.
going back and it's one other dude. I forgot. He did a lot of Kobe's. I can't remember his name, but like to me, that's who I watch and kind of check out from time to time. So
You know
Yeah.
what's crazy is to think that like Tony D and Bull are like OGs. Like they still like in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
talking
I
about
know, right?
like
Because they started out as teens, like
yeah,
like 13, 14. It's crazy.
yeah. No, but I love the different things people bring to the table.
Uh-huh.
Even there's a new kid, Jada Sneaker guy. Like I find myself enjoying his videos,
Hmm.
and he's kind of made the whole on foot thing his own. Like like it's I don't know, man. I do enjoy it. I do like watching people start off and then blow up. Like
Yeah,
especially
that's dope.
black, us, like having that opportunity because you could be out there doing something else and to be able to take a passion like sneakers and make something out of it, I think is super dope. And
Yeah.
I always applaud it. But yeah, if I had to do my top three, it's Jock Slade, Nightwing, and Mike Rich. Those are my
oh yeah,
guys.
Mike Rich good. Funny
Respectfully.
dude. Mike Rich good too. Good dudes.
Those are
Respectfully,
my
that's
guys.
dope, man. Um, let's segue into sneakers, man. Now, um, we're at a time where there's not a, any foam positives are dropping. Now, the state of culture where the young kids are saying foams are dead. What are your opinions about this? Because my show is surrounded and dedicated to foam collectors and Penny Hardaway collectors. So I would like to get everyone's opinion on that. Even some of you guys in the chat, man. Let me know your opinions about the state of the culture of foam today.
Well,
Like you fucked it up.
I'm a yeah, I'm a big Penny fan.
Yeah.
Like I remember when the Foamposite, just like the internet used to be, was a novelty, right?
Yep.
That was just a select few people. Most people liked it. It was a high price. It was just set in its own little, right there. And then now there was a point in time I had to say from 2013, 14 to 2017, where Nike just just ran into the ground. I think Wale even brought it up how he was pissed about it. Just ran into the ground, and then people just walked away from it like, ugh, what are the fun puzzles that dead? Like you could part of the reasons they're not dead.
Yeah.
They're not selling as much because your interest has shifted or the brands has said, hey, look over here. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's kind of how I think about the foams. I think they should, if they bring them back, just bring back the OG colors here and there, sprinkle us with a pewter. We long overdue some metallic red retros. You know what I'm saying? I was just watching some on foot Archives' IG page I follow. Like Penny has some PEs doing some of them playoff games, right?
Yes.
Foamposites. Like bring those back is, just things, or bring some Penny 2 coppers back. Long overdue. You know what I'm saying? Or how about do everybody on this IG live favor and bring back all the soul collectors from Penny Hardaway's from that Las Vegas event. You know what I'm saying?
They started
a lot of people
back.
don't remember that because they wasn't outside there. You know what I'm saying? They were still getting tattoos and wearing everything else. You know what I'm saying? So before they came in the sneakers, but to me, that's how I feel. I like when people say shoes are dead. Cool. I mean, I can go to eBay and I can get them from a great deal because there's no hype and there's no demand. So
Yep.
please sell every shoe I like is dead, so I can go buy it for a cheap price.
How about
Uh,
yourself, Caesar?
I mean, first of all, I've said it for the longest time. Up until maybe a year or two ago, I said Penny had the second best line behind Jordans.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've given it to LeBron because, you know, like, I mean, you can't go 19 shoes deep and not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to give it to him. Especially, man, from the LeBron 14 on has been fire to me. Uh, so I had to eventually give it to LeBron. But, man, Penny, I mean, one, I think they should have continued his line, even though he ain't, I mean, they do it with Jordans and they did it for a minute with Pippen.
Yeah.
So, you know, so I'm like, yeah, like, come out with a Penny 7, Penny 8. Because Penny, Jordans were cool. But Penny, like, his shoes always seemed like futuristic to me.
It really did.
It was
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? They had a little bit of
Yeah.
that futuristic pizzazz to it, and especially with the phones. I remember '97 seeing those, and it's like, the fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't never seen a
There
basketball
was
shoe like that,
one. There was 197 at Champs.
bruh.
171. It was ridiculous price. Of
Yeah.
course, the high price shit at the time. Yeah, it was.
I,
I saw
I
them at Champ. I'm on like you. It was absurd. They was already pushing the needle for the 125 for the mics. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
yeah,
The 130, 140. So come
150,
on with a
yeah.
170, 190 shoe. Man,
But
they was
man, pennies always were dope to me, and like, I don't think he had any like the penny fives was okay, but every other shoe was fire.
Fire.
And
the,
And so I'm like, you know, I would love to see them give them the proper due. I would love to see, especially with the phone pauses. I think I blame Nike for that. They just ran that shoe into the ground.
Mhm.
They came out with some more. Like what is it? We were
the
just talking about
candy
the thermal mat.
apples, they came out. There was a
The
couple
thermal
colors
mat.
they had.
CDGs. It
Like,
came with
how
the
the fuck do you
CDG.
like?
Yo,
How do you
Chrome
have?
with the chip and paint, like
The
the mirror
mirrors.
foams. I mean,
Yeah, mirror
like
foams.
Dude,
Yeah.
that just
that was the most beautiful shoe I've ever seen in my life, bro. And then once the thing started chipping, it just took. Especially when people were paying resale prices for
Hmm.
them. Imagine paying $800 just to have the paint chip, bro. Like,
And then let's
you
be honest. What and people ain't gonna if you know you know what really birthed the surgence of the hype beast in this modern era. Galaxy phones.
Yeah. That's what it started it all. That's
yeah,
what started.
like,
So
yeah,
Started
that
it all.
whole
The
All
hype
Star
beast.
game pack
yeah,
birthed the resurgence because everybody wanted every shoe from the Flight Ones
to
to
the
the
dunks,
Foamposites to the Kobe Sevens to the KD Fours to
Mhm.
LeBron 9 Big Bangs.
Yeah.
And it was another shoe that was part of the
the
Dunks. Like
dunks, the
everybody
dunks.
wanted every shoe in that. Like they had
Yeah.
to call the SWAT in Florida because that was like the year they had the All Star game in Orlando.
And it froze up.
Yeah. He
He got
froze
that
up.
wild cable.
Space shuttle launches.
There
So,
we go.
but go ahead, C's.
No, I was gonna say, man, like, to me, phone pause is still fire to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think
Hmm.
the last pair I got was the last pair they dropped was the one with they kind of mimicked the Oregon, but it had the Nike swooshes and
Oh
3M
yeah.
on it.
Yeah. That was a
Yeah,
fire. That was a fire release.
yeah.
Kind of slept on, but a lot of cats in the DMV embraced it in New York. So
Here in Detroit, they did too. I mean,
oh yeah.
shoot. I mean, we was
Yeah.
rocking them. I just think that, you know, like, I think they were ahead of their time, and then when people finally caught up, Nike just oversaturated it with bad colorways. Like, we was
Oh
talking about
yeah.
the thermal maps not that long ago, and I'm like, how do you put that shoe on the table and say, yeah, let's release that? Like, that
Yeah.
shoe looked like they had herpes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, it was just,
Yeah.
they were trying things, and I think there's ways to be creative about it.
Hmm.
Um, that they could still, I think there's still creative things they can do with the
Yeah.
phone pauses. I just think that I like the fact that they've stopped it because then that gives people a break and it allows some distance between those bad colorways. So if they
Oh
do want
yeah.
to do something again, you know, it'll seem fresh and new. I think people will want it because I think people will miss it. And like the Jordan 1. Like, I think part of the hype of around the Jordan 1 was because we hadn't seen them in years, you know. And
Yeah.
then when they finally retro the OG highs, people was like, oh, they dying to get every pair. And
That's
so
true.
I
That
think,
is true.
yeah, so
Having the upcoming release of the Penny One, Orlando, and we 20 years, 26 years later,
Mhm.
we finally get in the home colorway. What are y'all thoughts on the upcoming retros that's coming?
I think they brought them out in the like 07-ish, and they brought them out again low key a little bit after that because I remember I've been working sneaker retail for 10 years. So, but I looked at it. It ain't the same. I'm gonna get it because I just want it because all the other ones gonna fall apart. All like my other OG shoes in here that I got to go get sent off to repair. But I look at the air bubble is not as big. Like the shape with a white, like what the mid guard is with the white part, it look a little like you can tell it's retro. You know what I'm saying? And what's so frustrating about this, what me and C say, is that they have a room where they have all the original models and molds they can go and pull. So it's just like I have more sympathy for you or more patience with you if you couldn't find the mold and you just trying to piece it together by pictures. But you have the exact shoe that came out. So why is it that when it's time to retro it, it's not the original? You know what I'm saying? Like
when they
release that remastered Biggie and when Big Papa didn't sound the same, we be pissed. Like, dog, I'll give you my CD if it's gonna make it sound like the original.
When they came out with those 2017, 2018 penny retros, was horrible.
The
They
twos?
try to remix it with the Pro, the little penny Pro, and that was all right.
Oh, the halves, not the half cents.
No.
I know what you talking about. Little pros or little pennies or something like that.
It came with another colorway where it was like a Halloween color, orange and black.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Little penny posits, little pro posits, like that.
Yeah,
little pro posits.
Yeah.
It was so horrible with those penny ones. I'm like, yo, I can't get jiggy with this, bro.
That's why I'm not about the penny threes.
And then they released the gym red or the university red penny one that resembles like a red version of the Soul Collector. You know, won't you just drop the Soul Collector one? You know,
because Nike doesn't give you what you want. Like that's the thing. Like like we were joking about the royalty 12s. Like they know damn well everybody wants the taxis, but they come out with the royalty 12s where it's close enough, but still not exactly what you want, just to piss you off.
Actually, it almost costs you more money to make them because instead of just bringing out what you already had, you gotta go switch the gold a little bit. Now you gotta throw 2 pair of more laces in there. So like it's just that's how they operate, man. I don't get it.
That's what's up, man. Going into 2 hours, man, with these guys, man. Again, man, from the Sneaker Board Podcast.
Well, we do 2 hours easy. Like that's
that's how these conversations fly by when you're having fun, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Let's get into the speedy round. You know what I'm saying? Okay. This is the fun speedy round where I actually ask random questions, but they all good from my followers and myself as well. So, what is your favorite penny out the penny series? Could be any silhouette or even colorway of all times.
I'm gonna say Foamposite I love, but I gotta say penny threes.
Penny threes.
Penny threes was so dope to me, and I'm glad. Well, this last retro, they kind of went cheap on them. First of all, when they come in the Nike Sportswear box, that they skipped on something, right? Yeah. And so, like the foam, like the originals had that metallic finish. It was more anthracite, that foam part.
Yeah.
And it was some
quality. It was harder. It was definitely harder. That first penny 3, that foam felt like it came off a Batman costume.
That back then they called it the liquid foam.
Yeah, this joint, and we still bought it.
Still bought it. Still bought it.
Stepped on 50 times, and we still bought it.
Yeah. favorite Foamposite colorway of all time.
Hold on, let me ask you a question real quick. Mine, to be honest with you, it's tied between the Neon Royal Foamposite and the Black Orlando Penny 2.
All right.
Ooh, yeah, the black twos,
yeah. Fire.
But favorite Foamposite colorway?
Yeah, favorite Foamposite colorway.
I mean, the original. Was so hard. But the Oregon colorway was hard, and the mirrors. Like if they had did that right and put the right type of coating on them, I don't know if they could have used patent leather. I don't know what they could have used, but something more durable.
Yeah.
For that mirror finish, that would have been the best shoe of all time for me. Like honestly, you could not have found a better looking shoe, in my opinion.
To me,
I
outside the
totally-
Neon Royals, because it's just so nostalgic from Penny to Mike Bibby and them in Arizona, whatnot. To me, what the best? To me, it's a tie between my personal between the Metallic Reds and that Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix Suns. That's that shiny,
Phoenix
shiny boy
Suns.
right there.
Yeah, that was like the purple neon joints. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just that
All
was
right.
cool.
Let's go to comic books. Justice League versus Avengers. Who y'all got?
Avengers. We talking about the movie
Avengers.
version? Movie version?
The movie version.
Because I'm like, DC ain't proved, they
Yeah,
can't prove it yet.
DC.
Now, I will say this. The Snyder Cut Justice League is
Oh yeah.
up there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
up
Up
it's
there.
there.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
yeah, that
Like,
was
it definitely beats you. It definitely beats Age of Ultron to me. Now, whether or not it
It's
beats the
up
first
there.
Avengers, it's up there. It's up
Yeah.
there, my guy. But I mean, I feel like more of my favorite characters are on Marvel side. Like Wolverine is like my favorite, right?
Yeah.
Like who beat him? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because like think about it. Like the strongest character on like DC side of Superman, you pull out some kryptonite, he's done, right?
Yeah.
Batman is a real human, no matter how good of a fighter he is. He's a real human. Uh, you know what I'm saying? And you got Wonder Woman. Like, so it's like, you got Wolverine and Magneto. That's all you, bruh. That's a wrap. Like, with
Yeah.
just them two.
actually
You got the
Jean Grey.
Incredible Hulk.
What's the old girl name?
That's what's
Yeah,
up,
Jean
man.
Grey can handle all of them. But on my side, I gotta say
Yeah,
Marvel.
Wanda. You got
Marvel,
Wanda? Like,
and
dog,
the
come on. It's a
fact
wrap.
that they're black, they give us. Did DC ever give us a black superhero?
Yeah, what's my
The
Yeah,
man?
Green Lantern.
they
Green
did.
Lantern.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but him. But Blade, I'm gonna roll with Blade because once again, black people is always saving everybody else, and Blade saved Marvel. So I'm gonna roll with them. But I like my son a big Avengers. His whole room is Avengers. But yeah, I gotta roll with Avengers, man.
That's what's up,
Marvel.
Well, he
man.
didn't say one too much. They still had to sell off all their property.
Cool.
Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they caught a lick on that Spider-Man. I didn't want their masters back. And Sony like, nah.
My man said static shock.
Shot, yeah, so they shot.
Static Shock. Get the
Oh
fuck out of here, man.
man.
That
All
was the
right,
wackest superhero.
that switches to hoops. On a street ball level, who has the better handles, Allen Iverson or Jamal Crawford?
That's
Mm.
tough.
Who got the best
Damn.
handles?
Ooh.
I want.
Ugh.
I guess like to me, I felt like Jamal had out cold handles, but Iverson got people to bite on it more. He
Oh
was
man,
able to
Yeah,
get them to
Iverson had
reach
style.
more. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He got them to reach
yeah.
more. It's something about that they felt like they had a chance
They had to
reaching with
outlaw. They
Iverson.
had to change the rules for dude. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
yeah, so
really
I got to give
did.
it to Iverson. They had to change the rules. They was like, all right, you killing too many of our. You got Jordan shook. You know what I'm saying? Like David Stern was like, all right,
Harder.
next year
Oh my
we can't
goodness.
have that bullshit.
Yeah. All right, let's
Can't be
take it to
shaking like
y'all
that.
hometown, man. Who is your favorite Piston of all time?
Zeke,
Isaiah.
Yes,
Zeke,
sir.
it's without question.
Yeah,
Like, dog, like,
even though he's from Chicago and they like Chicago like our cousins, but he came here and embodied that. That the Larry Bird remark, that was the
Mhm.
Detroit thing, showing up to the game to the fur coat song.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
To this day, he embodies his Chicago. Like, yeah, that's cool, but who beat Mike in his prime? Who beat Bird in his prime? Who beat Magic in his prime? They don't bring that up. Like, he still got that Detroitness. Like, we slept on. You're not gonna just forget about me,
Yeah.
So I
yeah,
definitely got to say Zeke.
Or
Isaiah.
yeah. No, I
there's
mean,
a
yeah, I
lot of
mean,
And
players throughout.
outside the Red
and he
Wings,
had
we don't have
heart.
much to choose
The
from.
heart he had, like to go out there,
Yeah,
like I mean, well, it was at the finals when he
yeah, hurt
hurt
his
his
ankle.
leg,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
man, and balled out after. Man, to me, that's probably still one of the greatest performances I've ever seen.
Facts. Yeah. Um, Throughout the years, y'all had plethora of good players and legends, Hall
Yeah,
of Famers as well. Who is the most slept on that ever played for the Pistons?
I don't think they slipped on because the '89. I mean, the '90s Pistons team get their respect, and the '04 Pistons people get their respect. So
Yeah.
it's hard. Like she ain't
you
slept
know
on.
what? I'm
Ben
gonna
ain't
say,
slept on.
honestly, I'm gonna say Adrian Dantley.
I
Hey,
won't
I don't
say
think he gets
yeah, I
enough
won't
love.
say Vinny. I won't say Dave Being bald, but you
Dave,
know I
yeah,
really enjoy Dave Being
yeah,
bald.
Dave being dead ball.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
You might have me on
what
that.
y'all think about the Jerry Stackhouse Grant Hill era?
Short lived. It was good, but he got
Sure.
hurt. The
Yeah,
Pistons made him play on a hurt ankle, didn't ship him.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Which I mean, we got Ben when that led to a championship. But
yeah,
man, we more pissed about the '04 draft than we is about Grant Hill being hurt.
bruh.
Grant Hill did give us our first athlete with our own shoe. So
uh-huh.
when the Felix sees got my shit tampered,
They freezing up again. Yeah,
but Grant Hill gave us like that was our first time, probably our only time where we had a signature athlete with their own shoe.
You know
Until
what's
she
funny
came
about that
with his
era?
Air Force Ones, and you know what I'm saying. But
right.
that's why we were supporting him to this day. Like we buy those every time they come out because that was the only time we got a signature athlete with their own shoe here.
Yeah,
It's funny that first of all, I mean, you gotta be a hell of a player to be from Duke and have me root for you. But
hmm
beyond that, uh, I gotta say though, like it's funny how like we used to look back at that era, especially with the jerseys, like oh those are trash, and now it's like yo that's like one of my favorite jerseys.
classics. Yeah, right.
So, I'd be like bring them back.
Yeah,
But but yeah, Grant Hill was. I mean, it's one of those things where you wonder what his career would have been like had he not got hurt, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And because I think people forget how good he was. And this goes back to what I was saying. Like these kids don't know about it because they don't look for it, you know.
That's
Because
true.
well,
Yeah, and
one
it's
the
right there in the
NBA,
face. He's all over YouTube. Like,
well, the NBA does a shit job of telling y'all history too. Remember they used to have NBA classics.
yeah, yeah,
I used to love watching that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because if you're a fan of basketball, you're a fan of basketball.
Right, right,
And
right.
they stopped it because you know, and it's funny because like the game now, I think one of the reasons they're losing ratings is because the game has become so one dimensional. Like
That's
there
true.
used to be facets to the game. You had the post game, you had the mid range, you had in and out, pick and roll, all that stuff. And now it's just 3-point shot. Like I just seen a play the other day. It was a 2-on-1 fast break, and my man had an open layup, but then went back out to the 3-point line to shoot a
Went back.
three.
Yeah, don't say
And I'm
that. You got
like,
that from my page. You're gonna go ahead.
That's crazy,
Source my
I'm
man.
credit.
just like, no, like this is what a game is, and I'm like.
Yeah,
They're so one dimensional now. Like, yeah, you got Steph. I mean, what Steph is doing is great, but everybody's not Steph. You have one Steph. You know what I'm saying? So everybody
yeah.
else is out there just chucking up threes, and the game has become so one dimensional now. You basically eliminated the center position.
Right.
Like, and so it's not even. It's no longer multifaceted anymore. Like everybody's trying to play the same role. You got big men out there with guards. You got guards
That's
out rebounding
crazy.
big men. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, it's not as enjoyable. Like anytime I see like a 80s or 90s game,
hmm
early 2000s game, and I watch it, and like, it's such a huge difference
Yeah,
in the way the game was played. And it just feels different. I just feel like the game was at its peak, like late 90s, mid to late 90s. That's where the game was at its peak,
of
you
course.
know,
Yeah.
and then it's like slowly tapered down and
No, I get what
whatever.
you're
And
saying.
so
Nah, you can go do the 2000s like that because
the 2000s was
the
dope too.
AIs, the
Yeah,
T Max, the Kobe's, the KGs, the Duncans, the
yeah.
Bron coming through like that was still fun
Shaq was
time.
still doing his thing.
Paul
Shaq is
Pierce
the
and
most
them, they'll
dominant
some
player I've
big
ever seen
three.
in my life.
You said what?
I love Jordan, but dog, Shaq was a problem. Like
Oh, yeah.
they had
But people
nothing
sleep
for
on
him.
Akeem, bro, because Akeem gave Shaq
No,
problems.
but
You
they
gotta
had
give
to
it.
change the rule. They had to like literally change the way they officiated, change the
Yeah.
rules. Like Hakeem was a problem too, but Hakeem, like Shaq was just. I'm talking about dominant.
Oh, yeah.
Like Shaq, like them those 3-4 years. Like nobody had nothing for that.
Yeah, that
Nothing for
is
that.
true.
It was
Yeah.
just like.
Then you have Mr. Fundamentals. You had David Robinson and Tim Duncan.
But see, people forget they owned it. Like, I remember they ran through them like they swept them. Remember that year the Lakers swept like everybody. They lost to Iverson in the finals that one game,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
swept everybody. And
Iverson was a true black. To me,
yeah,
he's
he
a
was.
culture goat. He was
The
the
thing about
first
Tim Duncan,
representation of black people in major level. When
Yeah.
he
Pretty much.
came into
Yeah.
Staples and it was like after that first game, y'all could put them brooms up. Dr.
Yeah.
put them brooms. Then gave Kobe
What do
35 in the first half. Kobe had to
also,
go
when
watch a
y'all think
video on
about that,
sharks to guard him.
yeah. What do y'all think about the hand check that just came and went? You know,
Well, the
they.
game, the NBA,
It's a business. That's when I know that was a
it's a business.
business.
They trying to make it more offensive friendly, and
Mhm.
so like playing good defense isn't as entertaining as high offense, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch a game like the Pistons in the early 2000s. I mean, you look at those scores; it was like 73-89. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's trying
Mhm.
to see a game like that. They want to see 120 to 130. They want to
Yeah.
see that, and so. The NBA, I tell people, like Drew just said, the NBA is still a business
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And so they got rid of, you look at it, they got rid of the hand checking. Used to have like, 10 seconds across half court.
Hmm.
Now you have like 7.
Yeah.
Um,
Eight
you know,
seconds. 8 seconds now.
yeah, 8 seconds or whatever. So like they've changed the game to make it more for the offense.
Right.
But it's kind of created an ugly thing. Like remember, like the foul calls that was
Mhm.
getting ugly because offensive players was, you couldn't even play good defense. Like me doing this and then you swinging your arm into me got me a foul.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's
And
the
you
Harden
see,
rule.
yeah, and you
Yeah,
see
the
how it was
hard one.
affecting
He was
like James
victorious. I'm
Harden.
happy they got rid of it. Then he
Yeah.
Yeah,
cried for 2 weeks straight. And then the next game they gave him 17 free throws.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
like, how y'all gonna let this? Not Bron, this not Curry who complaining. This
yeah.
Harden, y'all
Yeah.
gave into it.
But that's the thing though. Like, and that's why I like 30 points now ain't the same as 30 points back in the day. Right? Like 30
Right.
points in a game where your team scored 90, that's impressive. 30 points in 120 ain't as impressive because you shoot more. Like the offense is more geared towards the offense. I mean, you shoot 10 free throws, that's 10 your points right there.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they get, like you said, he
That's
got
crazy.
17. He
Hmm.
got 17. So all you got to do is make what? 2 shots per quarter
Yeah, that's what I
and
told
shoot
people
free
that Harden
throws.
was not the best offensive player when they was pushing that narrative. Like he's not the best offensive player ever. When half of
No,
your
I hate it when they
coming
said
from,
that because I'm like,
I
getting
hate like
foul
dog,
calls
you
is
shooting
offensive.
16 free throws, bro. You really
Yeah,
only averaging
yeah,
20 points.
Right.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Let's take it to another level now. My two great debates. The first question: Penny versus T Mac, both in their prime. Who are you going with
Penny,
in the 1v1?
Penny, Penny. I'm going with Penny
You gonna
simply
Penny?
because
Good.
here's why I'm going with Penny. Because one, Penny came in the game and he made more of an instant impact. It took T Mac a little bit of time to kind of gather his feet in the
Oh
NBA.
yeah.
Secondly, I think fundamentally Penny was better.
Hmm.
Like I feel like a lot of people. So like to me, there's a difference between skill and talent, right? Talent is
Right.
something you're born with, right?
Hmm.
Skill is something you work on. And I think a lot of today's NBA players, like they play off of talent and not necessarily skill, which is
Right.
why like the mid-range jump shot, like nobody knows how to shoot that anymore because they don't work on that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, and so I don't think people really work on the fastest of the game anymore. It's because like all I got to do is just out jump you or just outrun you, and it's like it takes more than that. And I think Penny had talent and skill, whereas I think C-Mac, to his detriment, relied more on his talent. Not to say he didn't have any skill,
Hmm.
but I think he was more talent than that.
Yeah.
And so I give the edge to Penny because had he not been injured, he would have had more longevity.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say that. I mean, I'm kind of
Man.
like both really got played with injuries. Penny's was sooner than
Yeah,
T Max, but both would play. I mean, Penny was a better all around player, passer, rebounder,
Hmm.
yeah.
point guard,
Floor general.
defender. Yeah, I felt
Yeah.
like T Mac was a better scorer.
Yes,
So
I
I
give
feel
you that.
like T
I
Mac,
agree.
you could
Yeah,
drop T Mac anywhere and he gonna be T Mac. Penny
Hmm.
can make your team better. So it's just to me, it's just how you look. I feel like Penny could do more bang for your buck. But
but I
T
think
Mac,
too
don't
though,
get me
like,
wrong, T Mac
and this
was
is where I look
torching
at Michael
dudes.
Jordan, and this is where you look at Michael Jordan, right?
Right.
Like, of course, he was an athletic freak, right?
Hmm.
And he was able to out jump you, and but he had that talent though, because his mid range was on point. But if you
Oh yeah.
look at his game in the latter half of his career, where he didn't have that explosive athleticism that he had at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
He adjusted. He had that fadeaway. He worked
Hmm.
on his post game. You know what I'm saying? So he was
Hmm.
able to uh, transition into his early 30s and mid 30s, and even still be impactful at 39 and 40. You know,
Yeah.
because you're still averaging like 20-something points a game, like because he had skill. You know what I'm saying? It
That
wasn't
skill.
just talent.
Yeah. Then there's that thing called a finesse game, man. He definitely had
Oh boy.
flair, and it's just it's just
Oh, you know
amazing
who's
thing to
underrated?
watch.
You know who's underrated now I think about it? And you're gonna be surprised when I say this. Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Dr.
I'm
J
not
might be one of the
surprised.
most
No. I
underrated players. That man carried a league. He shook the
yes.
NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He carried an entire league. Went
Yes,
head
he
to head with
did.
the NBA. Bruh, Dr. J, it's funny because I was watching a Michael Jordan thing not that long ago, and I think it was Doc Rivers who said Michael Jordan brought style to the game. No, Dr. J brought style to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. J brought style to the game, bro.
Yes, he did.
Nah,
Yeah.
right. And so I'm like, you know, you go back and watch on Dr. J. Dr. J to this day has the greatest move I've ever seen in my life in NBA history. When he went up, he was playing against the Lakers, and he went up,
The
went
up and
out of
under.
bounds at the wall, and came back on the other. And
Yeah.
it's funny when I hear people talk about, oh, the NBA back, the players back then, you know, they couldn't do the things they're doing now. I'm like, show me a player that can do that now. You can't.
And,
That was the early 80s. That was like 83, and he did that in 82.
it
Matter of
was
fact,
smooth. It
Matter
was
of fact,
smooth.
you remember this? You remember this? Remember the All-Star game when the dunk contest was kind of lacking, and they had that wheel where players had to recreate dunks people did back in the day,
Oh
and they couldn't. And
yeah,
they
I
couldn't.
remember that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm like, dog, go back and watch Dominique Wilkins highlights. Go back and watch Larry Nance highlights. Go back and watch David Thompson highlights.
Yep.
Go back, like, dog, like players were jumping off the gym back in the day. It's just because y'all don't watch it. Y'all just assume
Mm-hmm.
that, oh, they were just milkmen. Okay, go back. Even the
Yeah.
white dude, Kyle Chambers, was ducking over people's heads. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
When he dunked on Mark
like,
Jackson. Oh my goodness.
so that's why I get mad when people say, "Oh, the game is much faster." Bro, did you see the game? Dude, they were scoring the high hundreds and they were scoring like 150 points a game in their early 80s too.
Oh yeah.
But they changed it to make it more defensive,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the game, I thought, and then in the late 80s and in the 90s and the 2000s, I felt like it was a good balance of defense and offense.
Oh yeah.
And then now we're going back towards an offensive point. But I'm like, y'all need to go back and watch those games. Like, I even seen a highlight of Bill Russell. Like, he did a finger roll layup over somebody's head. Like, the body control.
those
I mean, he
those
jumped over somebody and did a
right.
finger. I'm like, but you let these kids tell it now. What no athleticism back then. It was just
Right.
milkmen playing
And
against
the
each
thing
other.
that and watching those clips, they was all in Converse. Like they
Dog, no injuries. You know
nothing.
what I'm saying? They playing in canvas and leather the
Bro.
whole season. You know, that's why I like. And here's the thing, though. This is why I hate when people compare it now versus then, because I'm like, it's easy to say I'll take this player who's had the advantage of all the workout regimens and the exercises and stuff that comes with the natural evolution of things, to take them and plant them back then. But take them back then and only give them what they had back then.
Right.
And then take a player from back then and give them all that stuff we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and see how they do. Like Will Chamberlain, I think that's another underrated player.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
Definitely.
Like he out there killing people. I mean, dude averaged 50 points a game, and everybody was like, "Oh, he did." Like, if it was that easy, why didn't nobody else do it? Nobody has sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think my problem is that I think a lot of times people want to be remembered, but they don't want to remember the people that paved the way for them.
Right. Great point.
You want to be remembered, though.
Yeah.
So 100 years from now, people are going to be saying the same shit about you that you talking about them, because they're going to swear that the people that's playing in is greater because the competition or whatever excuse they want to give, you know. And that's what I get an issue with, because I'm like, those players built the foundation for the Michael Jordans and the LeBrons and the Steph Currys. You know what I'm saying? And so to like shit on them to make an argument for your favorite player, I think is just it doesn't help the game advance. If anything, it creates a disregard for that history.
Right.
So that's why I don't shit on the older
I
players.
agree with that. I think some of the players, I mean, they still reverence the older players, but the older dudes, like some of the interviews I watch, they be completely hating. It's like, dog, like
But do they though?
Yeah, no. Just to say like, oh, y'all just,
Right.
oh, they like, oh, he's not worth that, or like, bro, it's inflation things, or like, oh, that was he trash, or like Barkley
But why is
playing
that
like,
hating though? Like, let's
no,
stop that. Like,
because
no, I'm
here's
just
my
saying
thing,
because
you
if
can
they
construct,
have perspective though, that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Like, they have the
no, because
perspective.
if because my thing, if the new players say the same thing about the old players, and the old players feel disrespected, but the old players feel like they can
Because they have
criticize the new
perspective.
players,
One
huh?
of those, because one of those people lived through that generation and is now living in that generation.
But they're
So
not
they have
playing
the
in today's
ability.
game
Hold
though.
on, they have the ability to compare. Whereas if all I know is my generation, I don't have the ability to compare because I wasn't there. So I can't
Right.
speak on what it was like. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
can.
but you can say the game has changed. You can say like the game, and hey, back then we had to work to do this in the game, but you can't say this person is not as talented because they have better
But if
resources.
anybody
Like,
has the right to say that, it would be them. You know what I'm saying?
but
Like
you can't,
it's
you can't. But here's
it's
my
like
thing: it's all about your delivery too, and some of them, not all,
Mm-hmm.
because
it
some
used to
of
be
them
a
don't. Like
time.
Dr. J, when he say things about current players, he says in a respectable manner, but he
Not all the
critique.
time.
But it's also, but you got like something like the Charles Barkley's and everybody else who at times, like Shaq brings it back because sometimes Charles be talking crazy. He be right every now and then, but he be talking crazy, and Shaq has to reel him in. Like, look, big dog, hey,
No,
if it
Shaq
was
be
so easy,
talking just as crazy though.
I'm.
I think because Shaq do like Shaq. Like I mean, let's not act like he ain't shit on Dwight Howard like his whole career. You know
They
what I'm
always
saying?
be.
Just
Because
because he
it
called
was
himself
it was a
Superman.
fair
Real.
criticism. Dwight Howard didn't take the game serious. He was too silly all the time. That was a fair
And Shaq
criticism.
wasn't. Like,
Who?
hold on, this is my problem. Okay, wait, time out. We're gonna talk about Shaq. The same Shaq that didn't work out, the same Shaq that didn't do the things he would even admit that he wouldn't work out until the season started. That's why him and Kobe was beef, because he didn't take the game as
But no,
seriously.
but
Right.
Now
here's
all
my
of a
thing. But
sudden, that
Shaq did
same
that.
silly ass
But
Shaq, because Shaq when he first came in was doing the
because
same
Shaq,
silly
if he was
shit.
overweight like he said he was, that was after they ran off
Shaq
that
wasn't
3-peat when
silly.
Shaq let
Shaq
him go.
wasn't silly.
He wasn't doing
Shaq
that when
wasn't
he
silly.
first got to
Come
LA.
on,
You,
man. See, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
he
bro,
talking
you're
about.
not
was.
gonna do that.
That's
You're
what I'm
not gonna
talking
do
about.
that because
The
Shaq
same
wasn't
Shaq
over. He was
that
overweight,
people wait,
averaging
wait,
38 and
the
16.
same Shaq and Dwight Howard wasn't doing this thing. Dwight Howard
Shaq
was
Dwight
still.
Howard was not averaging 38 and 16 in the
I didn't
finals.
say he
He was
was. Did
not
I say
winning
he? Hold on,
MVPs. He
hold
was
on.
not
Listen
winning
to what I
scoring
said.
titles.
Listen to what I said.
Nah, bro.
Listen to what I said. Did I say he scored 30 or did I say he was doing his thing?
Doing the same as the Dwight Howard career does not
Dwight
hold a
Howard was
candle to
doing his
Shaq
thing.
career.
And Shaq, listen, he's not Shaq, but at the same time, he was doing his thing. Dwight Howard came out of the NBA, came out of high school. Shaq had at least had the ability to go to college and then, advance his game and then come into
Yeah.
the league,
Yeah.
right? Shaq was doing the same silly shit. Shaq was getting criticized because people didn't think he was taking the thing seriously because he was doing movies, he was trying to do albums, he was trying to do all that other shit. Shaq had the same criticisms about him that he had about Dwight Howard. So to
Yeah.
me, that seemed a little hypocritical for Shaq to come out there and criticize him for doing exactly the same thing that he did.
So
So,
did
like,
you?
if
They
you
was
think
doing the
Shaq is
same thing,
And
but
inequity,
that's
did he give
true.
you the same results?
That true.
huh?
Dwight Howard did
Shaq
trigger
didn't win since he got
Shaq
with a
with
Kobe. Did
cocaine.
Dwight ever have a Kobe? Well, yeah, he did have Kobe, but it was an older Kobe,
Yeah.
and he had Kobe.
Bro,
It was a much older
as a
Kobe,
big man, you
He
wasn't
much
jumping
gonna
out the
older
you're not
window
Kobe,
gonna
and a
you're
now.
much
gonna
older
pick
Dwight.
his finals
But
He
opinion.
jumped out the
I
window
will say
now.
this.
Come on.
I will say this though. I'll because I grew up with my grandparents, right?
Mm.
And so like there's an old school mentality. Like, the thing I love about older people is that they just say it how it is. Ain't no sugarcoating, right? And I
Right.
think this younger generation is just soft as fuck because they take everything as hating. They take
No, but
everything
I think
like,
if you gonna dish it,
and
you
so
better
like you
take it, bro.
gotta.
I seen the old dudes cry on TV too. That's disrespectful. Dude, they're like, bro, you pop off your shit.
That's
These young
fine.
dudes gonna pop
That's
off
fine.
too.
But
Like
I'm
that's
just
all I'm
saying
saying. You
the
dish it, you can take.
criticisms. I think that like this whole where they got delivered in a way they ain't gotta do shit. If like is it valid? Well, anytime somebody criticizes me, the first
Mm.
thing I say is it valid? That's the
Right.
first thing I think, right? Is it valid? I don't care about how you said it. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, I was raised by my grandparents. I was raised in a
Yeah,
military family.
it is.
I've
You can.
raised
I
as
can
such,
address
so
something he's wearing, but I can also be
can I
disrespectful.
think? Like I'm used to like
Good.
criticism being thrown my way in the not most sincerest way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm used to that. So when I hear criticism, like I'm able to like not get caught up in the delivery, but more in the message, right?
But that's
I just
also
think this
you.
generation is just so soft and coddled that any criticism come off as hating, no matter who says it. And I'm like, yo, like, is it valid? Like, fuck how it was said. Is it true?
Mhm.
That's
No,
part.
because what you do is when somebody giving you a fair criticism, you also let them be a door to be disrespectful. I can say, yo, man, you can fix your
It would
hair a
be
little
nice
bit,
if
bro.
they
Shit up.
did.
But if it's dirty, like, yo, bro, you gotta stand on your shirt.
It
Or I
would be
can
Right,
say,
nice.
right, right.
It would
dang,
be
man,
nice if
you
it was
gotta stand on your
respectful.
shirt. You a busty, you a homeless dude. Like the message was just saying you gotta stand on your shirt, but there's also ways you can be disrespectful too,
Yeah, you got your
because
point.
it's the same. This is
Got
how
your
you
point
But
now.
talk to
everything
people.
is disrespect now. Everything
No,
is
I'm not
disrespect
saying
now.
everything. I'm saying the delivery. Like you could, if you was trash that game, you was trash, but you can go
You
about.
can't even say that now. You can't even say that now.
Because
You can't even say
people are
somebody put that
easily to
trash
be
because
get
then they get
defended.
on the internet. Hey,
Yeah.
can you be nicer to me? It's like, dog,
But
listen,
see, everybody
y'all,
didn't have your
y'all,
upbringing where you
listen,
came in a
y'all
house
are
where
getting
you was
paid.
arguing with
Y'all
the
are getting,
middle.
you know how the game is getting soft. I'm going to tell you, dude. Like it's funny listening to stories about like especially in the '80s when players would talk about who they would play against Larry Bird or Michael Jordan, or they would play at the Boston Garden, or they would play at
Right.
Madison Square Garden, right? And the shit that would be being said, you know what I'm saying? And now you
Mm-hmm.
can, hey, that person said something, kick them out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right. Now I will admit there are things that people can, say that could go too far. Like I think somebody said something about LeBron's son
Yeah.
dying in a car crash. That's fucked up, obviously, right? But just the notion that now players can kick out players, I mean, people in the audience for hurting their feelings, for words, for words. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, if the person in the crowd jumped onto the court,
Mm-hmm.
yes, okay,
Yeah.
now that's different. Words, words. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like, that's why I'm just like, man, okay, bro.
But I
Words, you can
think, but
pay
you also got to look
millions of
at it.
dollars.
It's Caucasian people that are getting the ones getting kicked out, and we know it's only one word like you can really, really trigger a black person,
Uh-oh.
and we know that. So that's why it's not like they're kicking black people out. They're
Dog,
not kicking Asians
let's
out.
not
They're
act
not
like these
kicking.
motherfuckers ain't soft. Let's quit acting like everything is up here. Let's quit acting like every time somebody is offended that it has to be the worst thing. People are just softer nowadays.
But
They used to
also,
play on
sees
the
it's a
phone
And they
two-way
internet.
street.
quickly
Like
How's
get
it?
everybody
How's it
offended
fair?
that
If
as
a
keeps
well.
fan
it
could call
real
somebody else a
is going
nigga, but
through
a
it.
fan
Why?
called
Because
that
everything is
player nigga,
offensive.
he get kicked off the
Everything
team,
is
bro.
offensive. You can't say nothing. You can't say nothing without offending somebody.
It's a business, bro. You can't go to work calling people niggas, bro. Whether you a customer or an
Them people that get
employee.
paid, they paid to be there.
Who, what?
First of all, we don't even know without being
Okay,
said.
got you. So if
See
I
what
work at
happens?
your job
See
and
what
buy a
happens?
truck,
Hold on,
I got the right
DJ.
to
You see
call
what
you a
happens?
nigga
We
because I'm
fill in the
paying for
blank.
something.
See what happens right there? We don't know what was
Ah,
said. We don't know what was said,
no.
but we like to assume the worst case because why? Why?
No. That's because
I
that's
We
see.
assume
another
the worst
reason why I was
case.
coming.
SB
Everyone
custom.
said that.
Like
I have not seen
Tristan
a white
What do you
Thompson,
person
say?
say I deserve to be
Tristan
quoted.
Thompson, Tristan
You
Thompson
kicking
kicked
my
out some
fans
people
out of
because they talked about the
system.
Kardashians.
Yeah.
What the fuck
No.
I got to do
He's an
with it?
anomaly. He is all clowns
I'm
don't wear
just
makeup.
saying.
So
But
we're
that's what
not
I'm
talking
saying
about
to you.
Tristan and the Russ in Utah incident.
Is that what
Like,
we're
no, we're
speaking
not
to,
talking
though?
about that.
Because I'm not about to sit up here and assume that you just said the N word. I'm not about to sit up here and assume that every time somebody got kicked
Oh
out,
See,
they
my
just
that's
said that.
goodness,
you.
bro.
Your personality
I'm
is
not
not
doing it.
law.
I don't like assuming. I like going off of facts, right? Because you can assume all
Well,
day.
okay, if you know the facts, what would those players said? What did that you got in Utah say to Russell Westbrook?
Say what now?
What did that guy say to Russell Westbrook? If we're going off of facts, what
I
did
don't
that
know
guy?
what he said.
Okay, then. So we all speculate. Thank you.
I don't know what
You
he
said
said.
we're going off of facts, but how can you go off of facts if you don't know what he said to Russ?
That's why I don't have an opinion about what they said. This is why I'm not
But
going
you
to fill in
just
the
said
blank.
they be kicking out fans for no reason. You just
Right.
did
I'm
not
saying
just say
no,
that.
no. What did I say? I didn't say for no reason. I said words.
Okay,
Words.
but you can't say to judge the
Which
word
is
if
what
you
he
don't
got
know
kicked
the
out
words
for.
that was
He got
said.
kicked out for words. Last time I checked, ain't nobody ever died from a word.
Man, I know you a drug dealer. You gonna try to say you selling
You
drugs, but it wasn't
understand?
you. That's
DJ,
you.
am I
That's
wrong?
I know
This is
you.
Okay.
why I'm wrong. Because here's the thing, though. Bill Russell played his entire career with the N-word being thrown to him by his own fans.
But that
He
was
ain't kick
allowed then. That shit
That's
that's
crazy.
fine in the '60s ain't
out
fine
not
now.
one person. He ain't kick out not one person. Now all of a
Because
sudden,
he couldn't
now
kick out
all of a
nobody because
sudden,
everybody was racist.
now all of a
Dang,
sudden,
the
now
whole
all of
country
a
was racist.
sudden,
All
Who
right,
now
you gonna
all of
kick
a
out?
sudden,
Who?
now all of a
Did you
sudden,
forget Martin Luther
dudes
King
can't
was
go and
marching the next
gang.
day?
Now all
Yeah,
of a
what you talking
sudden,
about?
listen, if I'm getting paid millions of dollars and somebody in the stands want to throw out the N-word, I'm just
Uh-huh.
gonna beat
Bro,
them.
I'm not
You know
saying
what I'm
you
gonna
not
do?
letting
You know
your
what I'm gonna do?
coworker
You know what
walk
I'm
up
gonna
to
do?
you,
I'm gonna
call
beat
you a
the shit
nigga,
out of your
bro.
team. I'm
You
gonna
not
destroy
letting
your
nobody
Oh
team.
call you a
God,
white
bro.
person call
That's
you.
the best
Oh
comeback.
my
Let's find
God.
some
This
sneakers,
is
bro.
That's
Because
the
crazy.
he
best comeback. That's the
See,
best comeback.
well,
Because
what?
you know what happens? You know what happens? Because now people know, oh, now you paying attention to people saying in the crowd. Now everybody's gonna be talking shit. So you gonna kick out the whole arena?
No. Here's what you have to see
You
though.
know what
You
I'm saying?
understand? See,
But
Yeah.
what you
there's
gonna
a
do?
code
Because
of
now you too
conduct. They
distracted. You
can't
know
do
what that tells
certain
me?
things to
You
them.
distracted. You're
Bro. It's
distracted.
that
Like
respect
I
is a
love
two-way
some of the
street. See,
stories. I love some of the stories of the NBA players. Like it was a
Yeah.
story about Michael Jordan where he was talking about the guy who went down the sideline and was like, "Hey, pick up somebody your own size." He came back down and dunked on their center. Like I'm gonna take it out of your team.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your fans want to talk shit? Okay, you about to catch
but
50.
no. That does happen with the Trey Youngs and the Madison Square Gardens in that game when
Oh
he
yeah.
kicked
Oh,
Bron
it's
kicked dog out
crazy.
and
Horrible
Bron
stuff,
went ham on them.
man.
You
And
know what I'm
that's what
saying?
makes it
That's
great.
but you can't sit up
But
here
when
and
you
say that.
start doing all that shit, when we got to stop the game because now we got to kick out this fan, kick out that fan, kick out that fan.
Mm-hmm.
Now it delays the game, and now you become a distraction because now you so focused on what people saying in the stands that like you, it's like no,
I'm
the
sorry.
great players, the great players, the great
Oh
players
my
might be able to get
goodness.
past it.
But
The great
that's
players might be
different
able to get
times
past
though.
it.
See, that shit was
As a
flying
matter
in
of
the
fact, I
'90s.
can
You
tell
can
you a
yell,
perfect
nigga.
story.
You can
I can
yell
tell
that
you
in
a perfect
Indiana. They
story.
was saying
I'll
that
tell you
was
a perfect story.
racist.
I'll tell you a perfect story. I do construction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Construction is still a throwback to the 30s. I don't care. I don't care where you work, right? I was still an apprentice, and it's near the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the foremen came in there. Me as another black apprentice, and we're cleaning up and we're getting ready to go. And he comes in there and he's calling us boy and all this other stuff, right? And I know he's only saying it because he can,
Yeah.
right? He's my he's my boss and whatever, right? Nah, I'm bigger than him. I could easily piece him up. I could probably go and tell somebody and possibly get them fired. I don't know. But what did I do? I was like, you know what? Because I know I'm going through my apprenticeship. I'm trying to get my license. You're not my focus. I know you want me to react. That's why people say stuff.
Yeah.
They want you to react, right? So the game then becomes not reacting because now you're giving them what they want. So
Right.
I didn't react, right? My man, he wanted to. I stopped him. I'm like, look, he wants you to react because why? Because you're gonna beat his ass and then you're gonna get fired. You're gonna get kicked out the program, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, there was this gas station that was right outside the freeway that we would get on to go home. And everybody would stop there after a day of work to get something to drink and some snacks on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
So we standing at the register, and me and my man's talking, and then next thing I know, he puts his drink down and he walks outside. And I'm like, what the fuck? At first I don't know what he's doing. And then I noticed that same foreman that was talking shit
Mm-hmm.
he had just pulled up and he's walking towards the door. My man goes outside, he grabs him, throws him against somebody's car, and beats the shit out of him, right? Everybody goes out there and separates him. Never saw him again. Never saw him again after that. Got kicked out the program and everything.
Dang.
Meanwhile, I finish my program. I get my license. I get a good job at Chrysler as an electrical engineer, making 6 figures a year.
Mm-hmm.
I make more than my foreman did. I ran into him about 2 years after I got in at Chrysler, and he wanted to small talk and all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Yeah, what you doing now?" I told him I was at Chrysler, and I told him how much money I make. I make 40,000 more than he does.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if I
Yeah.
let those words get to me,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because once again, not only I could have reacted physically, or I could have went and said something, right? Which could have went my way, or it could have went the other way. Because once again, in construction, just like the military, you can be seen as a snitch, as a crybaby, as a tattletale. Even though they would have been wrong, they're the people in the power of position, right? A position of power. So
Right.
I still would have been having to answer to them. Long story short, I didn't let those words impact me because I know I had the goal.
Right.
I'm not worried about you because I know you want me to react. I know you saying that because you want me to react, because you want me to lose my cool and all this other shit. I didn't. And then once I got to the program, got my license, and then I got a job, I ended up making more money than that person that was talking that shit. And that's what I mean. It's like, yo, I can react to the fans and all this other shit, but I'm going to take it on your team. I'm going to win. Not only am I going to win the record, don't let it be a playoff game because now I'm going to knock your team out the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Success is the best revenge.
Yep.
At the end of the day, that's why I don't get caught up in words. I'm like, y'all like, okay, they said a word, and now I would admit, people have their breaking point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can imagine over the course of X amount of games, you got you got the whole crowd yelling at you and shit. But that's part of the game. That's why you're getting paid so much. That's the gift and the curse of being a superstar athlete. And so you gotta take that shit in stride. And so that's why, like now, that's why I look at it the way I do. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, they words. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like you think about it back in the day, like if Martin Luther King and them can march, getting dogs sicked on them. I mean, being physically attacked and not responding. You gonna respond to a word? Come on, man. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I think what made black people great was the fact that we had, in the face of all the adversity, we had to work twice as hard, which made us twice as good.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
had to keep our composure. We had to keep our composure under pressure, which allowed us in pressure situations to thrive. Because we used to this. This is nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? This is
mm-hmm.
light work because we black. We live in America in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? So adversity is nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we were able to thrive in a lot of situations, because we had to like deal with things, uh, you know, that most other people didn't have to deal with. And so that's why I take that same mentality. It's like, I'm not gonna let anybody work. Now you put your hands on me, and that's a different story. You catching these hands. You know what
I
I'm saying?
dig
I'm
it.
gonna make
Yeah,
sure you go to the
I
hospital.
can dig it.
You know
I
what I'm
dig
saying?
that.
And that's why, like, I
Great.
look at these like, dog, like words for real. Like, okay, like I get certain situations. Like I say, I brought up the LeBron thing. I get that. I do. I get that. You know what I'm saying? As a father, somebody says something about my daughter, yo, you know what I'm saying? But at the
Yeah,
end of the day, I do recognize. At the same time, I do recognize, like, at the end of the day, there are words, and people before you played through words. You know what I'm saying? So that I
mm-hmm.
use that as perspective. Like, okay, well, you know what?
Here's my thing. Yeah, you play through worse, but that doesn't validate being disrespected. Now, those players went through that, so you wouldn't have to go through that today.
Well, that
So
was
I'm
a
just talking
great
about the nigga
breakdown
word. I'm
you
not talking about
did.
you trash. Let me. Now I'm not talking about when you trash or you sorry. Like that stuff, yeah, that's part of heckling, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if you a great player like the Mikes, the Kobe's, the Bron, you feed at that and you put their team away, right? But
Right.
when like the incidences where were repeatedly happen, like in Utah, when people are yelling the N word and doing things like that, oh no, I don't care how much money I'm gonna bring, I'm not letting no white person disrespect me like that. Now Russ didn't run in the crowd and mob on dog. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He just said, yo, dog, gotta go. You enjoy the game, you can talk, but when you get disrespectful to that word, you can call me trash. You can say my jump shot broke, I'm Westbrick, all that. But when you start using that word, because here's one problem with them. Once you let one shit slide with them, it spreads like wildfire when it comes with their disrespect to our culture. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the only thing is addressing that. Now, if you throw somebody out because they called you trash, then I'm 100% subscribing to what C said. You soft, you weak. But when they start
But I'm
yelling
just
the N
arguing the
word,
logistics of that,
no,
because
that's what
one,
I'm saying.
you're never gonna legislate. First of all, let's just be honest. You're never gonna legislate the N word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you
But
can
if you can
legislate
call
it.
somebody, I
It's
don't care.
hold on. You can legislate it as far as somebody's professional, right? Like if somebody on TV says it, yeah, you can legislate it like that, because you can, uh, you can reach out to like if somebody on NBC broadcast and said the N word.
Right.
Yeah, you can get on Twitter and anybody can talk about it and bring attention to that situation, and they can rectify it that way. But let's be honest, you talk about a stadium full of fans that paid to be there. You can't fire them. Yeah, you can try to kick out individuals, but like I said, if you got an arena full of, like, we all know Utah, right? They known for that shit. So if the entire arena says that, what, you gonna kick out the entire arena? You're not. So at some point,
No. But here's,
you know what
here's,
I'm saying?
here's
So
my
that's what
thing.
I'm saying.
Here's my
So
thing though.
that's
But
what I'm
here,
saying. Like
True.
but yeah, you can't kick out that
realistically,
time reader. But if you somewhere, but you can use and make an example of. I'm gonna give you something. I served before, right?
yeah.
Because you were paying for your meal and you were tipping me. I wasn't gonna let you call me nigga and let that slide. Because I had an incident before when I was at California Pizza Kitchen. Because yeah, I didn't wall off a hot dog, but I told my manager, dog has to go. I don't give a fuck if he paying for his pizza or he paying for his drink or
Yeah.
he tipping. That
Mm-hmm.
type disrespect is non-negotiable. Especially with that word amongst the black people. Because I can't sit up here and call him a cracker, or the roles were reversed. If I call him a cracker and he was my server, best believe they're removing me out of there. So that's why, yeah, you can't throw it arena, but we're going to take one of y'all and make an example out of one of y'all. And you see that's what Utah did, and you see that it stopped. Now, if Utah never reprimanded people, it would have
Mm-hmm.
got worse. That's all
But
I'm
did
saying
it stop?
when it
We
comes
still
to
talking
that
about
word.
Utah. Listen,
Who?
it ain't like racist
Yeah,
people all
okay.
of a
The nigga
sudden
who's
stop.
sitting in the
Listen,
the people who yell a nigga, they're in the nosebleeds. Because they ain't
that's
getting
my
no seat
point
down
though.
there
Like
because they want to get better.
it ain't like they kicked out that one person and all the other racists in Utah. Like, man, like I don't know if I want to be racist now.
But people
Like,
want to come to that game and repeat it. They don't want to lose their ticket. See, one thing
nobody's
about them, they
saying
don't want to lose their privilege. Their privilege is
nobody's
everything to them. You
saying
see
that
that
the
with the
N word is
mask.
okay. What I'm saying is we gotta have thicker skin, because if we're gonna be so easily thrown off our square by people talking,
Right.
then that's gonna throw us.
But
You know what I'm saying? That's
why
gonna
do
throw off our square.
black people always gotta be the higher road? Black people always gotta have the thicker skin.
Nobody's
Like
saying
when
that.
we gonna
Listen,
start people accountable for not being disrespectful? Because you
this,
can't disrespect no Asian
Drew,
person
you
like
can
that.
do both. That's what I'm saying. Like
Nah, it ain't no
there's this
doing
false
both. It
dichotomy.
ain't no
There's this false dichotomy that people create where it's like it's one or the other. Listen,
Yeah.
you can hold people accountable, but still at the same time say, you know what? I'm not gonna let this get off my square. You still gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I mean about self accountability and integrity and all this other stuff. That's what I mean by that. It's like, look, I know people gonna be out here talking all types of reckless. You know what I'm saying? Just like I know people ain't gonna be good drivers, so that means I have to be a defensive driver. Just because somebody's supposed to drive in their own lane doesn't mean that they won't run into my ass. You know what I'm saying? I still got
That's
to be
when you blow
defensive
the
minded.
horn, right?
I still got to be the horn ain't
That's when you
enough.
blow your horn, right?
The horn isn't
You blow
enough.
the horn.
That's why I blow your
I
horn.
just got matter
When
of
you
fact, I
blow
just
me,
got to a
I'm
car accident.
blowing my
I
horn.
just got to a
Okay.
car accident Friday. I just got to a car accident Friday because there was a traffic jam and the person was trying to go up the on ramp, and apparently they don't know how to reverse because instead of reversing and then going to the right, they just came straight back. I hit my horn, still hit me. Now, there was
Man.
nothing I could do in that situation. My point is, listen, you know there's rules to the road. You know you're
Right.
supposed to drive the speed limit. You know you're supposed to stop at a red light. But you know people still run through red lights. So that's why you might wait a second after the light turns green to go. Because even though you know it's your turn, you know people still run those red lights.
Mm-hmm.
So you still got to be defensive minded. That's all I'm saying. You still have to be defensive minded. People still have an obligation to be held accountable. If that person runs a red light, they should still get a ticket. Nobody's saying they shouldn't get a ticket. I'm just saying you still have an obligation
Crazy.
to realize that just because there's rules, people don't follow them, and
Right.
you got to act accordingly.
That's what it is.
Great
You can't
points.
do
Great
that,
points,
and you get
fellas.
penalized. Well, I'm sorry. We just how we do. We don't even talk about sneakers in real life. We only talk
No,
about
I
no,
know we really
it's
don't.
all
Yeah,
good.
You can tell right now we don't talk about sneakers a lot. The only time we
It's
talk
all
about
good.
sneakers and when we press record.
Right. Man, great topics, man. Again, great points as well on both ends.
we just hijacked your show. My bad.
Yeah, I was
That's
about
all
to
good.
say that.
It's like, bro, man, y'all was making some great points, man, and I love it, bro. I love it. Let's get back into the speedy round, man.
Let's do it.
Oh man, okay, all right, man. This is one of the greatest debates, man. I ask this every single guest I have. Who is the better squad? Who is the better team? Dream Team 1 versus the Redeem Team. OGs versus the young guys. I mean, all angles, from performance, from even subbing, from coming off the bench. I'm talking
I
all
gotta go
aspects.
2012. I gotta go
I'm gonna go
2012.
original.
Original?
2012.
I'm
2012.
gonna go with the OGs.
2012.
Okay. Now here's the breakdown. Now you have your matchup where you have Scottie Pippen, David Robinson, Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan as your starting five. Okay,
Uh-huh.
where on a Redeem Team where you have Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Dwayne
KD,
Wade,
Kobe.
KD, and Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Now, coming off the bench, you have Dejan Prince. You also have Chris Paul, I think.
No, that 2012 team,
Oh, the
it had
2012,
Chris
yeah.
Paul, you had Russell Westbrook, Darren Williams, AD was on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kevin Love on there. It was somebody that 2012. I think was Harden on there. Yeah, because Harden that was the
Harden
year
was,
that came off.
yeah.
Harden was on there.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like the starting five cancel each other out. Just from my point of view,
Right.
I feel like the 2012 bench was a little bit better, and then also to me, Magic wasn't prime Magic. They retired right after that, right? Both of them, right? Bird and Magic retired right after that.
He came back just for the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bird.
So that's the only reason why if you gave me 83, 84 Bird and Magic, then I'm like, dang, I might have to switch. But like that's to me personally, because you got
The
more
only
of those
advantage
collective group in their prime. Huh?
the only advantage really there, like to Gru's point, is athleticism in certain positions. But I'll say this: like, first of all, they were called a redeem team for a reason. Two, the they were close to losing a couple games, and
Yeah.
that year, yeah, they almost lost a couple games. I mean, I remember LeBron and Kobe went off one game and secured the win.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm like, if you almost lost, like, tell me if I can't even tell you the team they lost to and who the starting five
Well,
on that
also
team
you
was.
gotta get
You almost lost to them.
the world players got better since '92.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so
No,
That
you
is
got
true.
they got
the
the
world
world
players
players
got
got
better,
better.
but you still don't know who they are. So my point
Cool.
is,
Nah,
if
stop
you
that. What
if
you
you
mean you
was
don't
about
know who
to
they are, bro? You don't have to know
is
nobody to be good.
listen,
Okay. All
Nobody
right.
know our bias. People don't know our podcast, but niggas don't
Here's,
take away from us being dope.
all right.
so
Here's
what now?
another. Here's
I ain't what
another.
you said.
All right. Here's
What you say?
another one. Now
Right.
you do have injuries. You had
Yeah,
the three players on the original Dream Team injured. They had John Stockton, you had Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson wasn't
yeah,
100%. So you only had one player on the Redeem team was injured, and that was at that time. I think AD was injured, which led
okay,
him coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So you only have that one player versus those three in their prime. Well, I say Larry Bird was on his last leg. So
yeah.
John Stockton, he didn't even play not one single game. Then you have Magic Johnson was not 100%. So that plays a factor too in the debate.
But
So
also let you
like
know
Right.
how
Well,
terrible
if you
the
talk,
world
yeah,
was.
when
How
you got
terrible the
injuries,
world
then yeah,
was. That's
I'm gonna give
Tony
the edge to the
Kukoc
2000s as
start.
well. Then
yeah.
yeah, because if you injured, you can't play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So uh, like when they rotate in those players, especially in the original Dream Team, they did a phenomenal job rotating. Uh, but they had a set player. They had three different players, or no, I'm sorry, three different teams for the Redeem Team. So you
yeah,
had the first and the secondary team come in, and then they had garbage time, which was the third string. I mean, I would say third string, but that's the third
yeah,
team. But
right.
for them, so just keep rotating players in and out, and then everybody's getting time, everybody's getting clock, everybody's getting points, and you had to rely on the three people that's actually scoring to stay in the game to go ahead and finish that win versus
Mm.
the rotated team. So I would say, me personally, I would say the Young Guns, because they had a point to prove for one, but they were stronger and faster. And they was putting up phenomenal points. They was blowing out teams for like 80
Were they
points.
really stronger though? I might give you the slight edge and it's faster, but were they stronger? Because you had Karl Malone, you had David Robinson.
Yeah.
It wasn't no.
I'll give you. Here's my thing though. I give
Like,
you
what we
David
talking about?
Robinson. I give you David Robinson, but Karl
Charles
Malone
Barkley.
wasn't the 1998 size Karl Malone back
Nah,
in
he wasn't.
'92. And then
Oh,
LeBron, to this
time out.
day, LeBron is the
Karl Malone
same.
was always a tough dude. Like, I
Well,
mean, let's not forget who
you
put
said
that,
you said stronger.
who
You
gave
say
Isaiah
tougher.
that cut over his eye.
You
Like, you
said
know what I'm
stronger
saying? So,
though.
Yeah.
You said stronger
you
though.
know what
I
I'm
didn't
saying?
say he
So,
was
I
tough.
mean,
I said you said stronger. You
I'm
said
just saying,
stronger.
Karl Malone. But listen, off the court, we can question all that.
Right.
On the court, now that's another player who I don't think gets enough respect. Is Karl Malone on the
Mhm.
court. Now, off the court might be a reason why he doesn't get that respect. But,
Right.
But you said stronger. But
yeah,
then
on the
also,
court, Karl Malone was a monster.
but Brian was at the three at Karl Malone's size. When Karl Malone was playing the four and sometimes the
Mm-hmm.
five when David Robinson out,
Mhm.
LeBron was at his
But that's
size
why I
playing
said
the
speed.
three.
When you're talking about strength, it's about even. If you want to say who's faster, then yeah, I'm gonna say LeBron.
Yeah, but you just
Yeah.
said stronger. So if it's
I
even,
said
then it's
stronger.
stronger.
I'm mentioning the players on that team. Like, yeah, LeBron, but KD ain't that strong.
But I'm saying, well, who? I mean, outside of David Robinson, they had was probably the
Yeah, David
strongest.
Robertson, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan was pretty strong too. I mean,
Yeah.
especially for a guard. Like,
Yeah.
people always talk about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean
Uh,
that was. I mean, but Kobe was known was strong. I mean, Russell Westbrook was fast strong. It was just like
Bro,
almost like a
Kobe.
main. Yeah, Kobe was on there
He
too,
ran
bro.
over
Like,
Paul
that's why I
Gasol.
said I give the 2012 team the edge in speed. But if you're talking about straight up strength, I don't know about that. You got Patrick Ewing? No, yeah, dog, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Prime Ewing, yeah. Nah, like as far as strength, I'm giving that to the Dream Team, bro.
Yeah.
And
So
and think
overall,
about
you're
it,
giving it to the
they had a
Dream
more
Team.
old school mentality too. So you're not just gonna come in the paint and be all cute with it, like you know what I'm saying?
But they were
Like,
playing these a different set of rules too, though. You
Yeah.
can't be.
what rules we talking about? Because that was two different eras.
That's what I'm talking about. You couldn't be as physical on defense in 2012 as you was in '92.
Right.
So
So
yeah,
what are
they
we
playing.
talking
You know what I'm
about?
saying?
Are we talking about just a straight up gym where like it's just
Yeah.
like call your own fouls?
Yeah.
Like,
It could be. It could be, or in a regular actual game, man.
because that's why I
So
feel like once
Caesar, you
again,
got
I feel like because
so
even when
you
we talk about stronger and faster, I think people say that because one, they ain't really watched the game back then. Like once again, there were the players were faster, just as
right.
fast. People were jumping just out the gym.
Yeah.
People were, you know what I'm saying? But because it's not, because think about it. Like nowadays, you know, you got 24/7, ESPN, Fox News, or not Fox News, but Fox Sports and whatever. You're seeing the same old clips all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so that's all you see because you're being inundated with just the same old images, right, of the
Right.
same old games you've seen recently. How often do you see highlights of another player? Matter of fact, outside of Michael Jordan and maybe Magic Johnson, you don't really see the NBA or any sports network really talk about other players or show highlights of those players.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about Isaiah Thomas. How many highlights do you see of him on ESPN or on Fox Sports? You don't.
Jeez, not that many.
Exactly, because they
Yeah.
don't do a good enough job telling those stories. So you get the
Yeah.
impression that he didn't have any. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you'd be surprised, like people don't know about these players because not enough is being said about them. Like especially like Isaiah Thomas, he didn't get enough credit that time, let alone now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know you got all these players like you talk about like like LeBron's a hybrid. So was Pippen. He was
Right.
pushing point as a small forward. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
like that comment. They lost to the college kids when C. Webb, Penny, Jamal Mashburn, Bobby Hurley, and
some niggas
Allen
wasn't
Houston.
trying.
They gave them boys a spanking.
They wasn't even trying. Come on now, you know. Like think about that team and then
Not
put
one
them in the
game, but
NBA.
2 games in a row, back-to-back games.
Yeah, they probably was bullshitting.
And
Probably just warm up.
Chuck Daly had Michael Jordan sit out.
Oh, well, there you go. Oh, well, there you go. Like you got the best player
Yeah.
in the team sitting out just to prove it. Like, sometimes you lose to bad teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, once in a blue moon. Like all
Well,
the
back
players
to
they just
back
named,
though.
huh?
Well, back to
You
back
just said he
games.
set out Michael Jordan. Like
Yeah.
they go your ace. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Try playing spades without an ace or a joker. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's like playing it without that.
Yeah, it's like, all right, get your books. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you might get a few, but you probably gonna get smoked on that. But I mean, like I said, on any given day, you know what I'm saying, anybody can be beat.
Right.
And they did lose. I mean, it wasn't a real game though. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure if it was a real game that counted, they probably would have put more effort into that game. And
Yeah.
so, because ain't none of them players you just named known for winning.
I can dig that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I dig that.
good players, but they
Right.
wasn't necessarily like they wasn't out there just beating the shit out of everybody. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah.
Great debate, man. Again, that's probably like the number one question I always ask my guests, man. So that's one of the great debates.
Well,
I
I always
always
try to give them
have
respect.
different. I always have different answers too. So,
I always try to respect the originators though, because
right.
we can sit up here and talk about The Weeknd. We could talk about Chris Brown. We can even talk about Michael Jackson. But we really want to keep it real, James Brown. Because here's why. Here's why I give credit to the originators. To create something out of nothing
Right.
takes more work than when you have a blueprint. Right?
Oh,
if you
yeah.
have a blueprint and you can say, okay, I'm going to do that and I'm going to add something to it, that's a lot easier than creating something totally unique and different that ain't nobody seen before.
Yeah, but you got to understand the freak of nature in LeBron and Olympic Melo and Olympic Kobe. Like these bad boys was like putting in work. Like
with the exception of LeBron, like, we've seen them before
yeah,
though. That's the thing. Like, freaks
that's
of
true.
nature.
Yeah.
So it's like, we've seen Shaqs. We've seen, like I said, Dr. J. Like we've seen, like there's so many players that don't get enough credit. Like another played for the Bullets, was a center. Wes Unseld, another player. Another big man that don't get talked. You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen David Robinson was a freaking nature. That dude could push. Look at some David Robinson highlights.
Oh yeah.
Two was a monster. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But because we don't see enough of them,
Right.
and we see a lot of this, we just inherently think it's better.
Right. All right, man. Let's get back into some sneakers, man. Who is the better all around sneaker and performance sneaker versus KD and Kyrie sneaker line? Who has the better line?
Curry,
And Kyrie?
Curry. Performance, because they both got performance.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the edge I give to Kyrie aesthetically. Now, I will say his shoes are starting to look the same. Now, this last shoe was trash.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Oh my goodness, I ain't even.
yeah.
Bro, when
Yeah.
them pictures leaked, I said, "Oh, it's over."
It's like Nike knew he wasn't gonna play this year. It was like, all right, well, you know what I'm saying? We're not gonna try as hard as we could. But like I get what Kyrie does as far as the theme.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is though, like after so many silhouettes, they start to look the same. You got the same teeth design in every shoe. You got the eye of horse. You know what I'm saying? It's like it almost becomes redundant after a point. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like you look at LeBron, like every year it seems like they have a different concept. You know what I'm saying? And I think what makes LeBron similar to Michael Jordan is the fact that he approached them and says what he's looking for performance-wise in the shoe. And it seems like they build off of the performance and they add in the aesthetics after the fact.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to like trying to stick to some theme every single silhouette.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like it seems like they had like with Kyrie has the same theme, but it's like they go in like, okay, we want to use the same theme, so how can we make it look different than last one? Whereas opposed to LeBron, they go in with a different story every year or a different concept every year, and I think that's what separates them from me. But as far as KD versus Kyrie, I give it to Kyrie. Just because KD, oh boy, his line.
How about you, Guru?
There's some ups and there's a lot of downs.
I'm already eating dinner. Seized and talked 2 hours out of 3. But I gotta say, the KD 14 is probably the best performing shoe out his line, and I feel like to me, who hooped them both, I had to give it to KD as far as performance wise. Now KD, I've said numerous times, he may have the best colorways out of any signature athlete on Nike.
Yeah.
Maybe even in history, if you kind of do look, because they give him his color palette is bigger.
Right. What?
Kyrie colorways on
You said Kyrie's or KD's?
Kyrie's.
Oh, I thought you said KD's.
No. Kyrie's color palette.
Oh, okay.
Nike gives to work with, like, as far as he's not the top 3 ever, and as far as colorways. Yeah. So but to me, I like hooping in KD's. Kyrie like court field, which means you get minimum cushioning, and I got an arch, and I can't do that. I hooped in the Kyrie 3s. Boy, my knees felt like a Dr. Dre drum machine. I was like, never again.
Oh, wow.
What I can't tell Kenny Anderson? Kenny, what is it when your knees feel like they got a migraine? What do you call that, Kenny? Like that's, but yeah, that's how much.
That's a dope represent, bro. Like, no, man, that's what's up, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Number one question, man. This is the last question of the night, man. What is your ultimate sneaker holy grail that you love to own one day, or even just having a collection?
Well, okay, so there's my grill and then there's my sentimental favorite. So like I start with my sentimental favorite because that's the easiest. My sentimental favorite is the black and red Air Jordan 12. That was my first Jordan. And anytime that comes out, I get like, I don't usually keep doubles of the same shoe because I just feel like, it just feels greedy to me, right? Especially when I know how hard it is to find a size 15. So to know that I'm hoarding multiple pairs of the same shoe for size 15 when somebody else could be enjoying it.
Right.
Like, I don't feel good about that. But the Air Jordan 12 black and red. That's like my sentimental favorite. That's always going to be like near and dear my heart. However, Grail is either a shoe we have or a shoe we want.
Hey, it could be a shoe that you already have, or just something that you want.
Fuck. Like it's funny. I can't even think of a shoe that I want that I would consider a Grail.
That's how you know he an influencer.
No, like
Uh-oh. It's a
no,
shot.
because it's like because no, I mean because I'm like because I'm not because I don't know. Like I guess it would be like the. I guess if I had a Grail, it would be like the Oregon threes, the Tinker threes.
Tough. That's a tough. Or well, now, which one? The pit crew or just the regular joint?
The green ones with the swoosh. You could have the changeable swoosh on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those would be my Grails.
Oh, that's fire, bro. Whew, man. I don't know what they going for on the market anyway.
Mine,
Like 4Gs,
Oh shit.
which is why I never have them. They will never. I have to be making DJ Khaled money.
All right, girl. What's your holy grail?
my shoe that I have, probably grill wise, it's a toss between my home game Zoom generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the first game. Which was it? The first game was the white and black one. The first home game was the white and burgundy ones, but Nike called it the first game. They be lying to you even when they know the truth.
Yeah.
I had to say that, and then between that and I had the original Gary Payton glove from '98, so those came with silver laces, and then the Nike swoosh on the patch that zip up that covered the zipper that was blacked out. So that's probably two of my favorite because I'm a big Nike basketball fan.
Oh, that's dope.
I remember being in like sixth grade, wanting a pair. This dude named Steve had got a pair, and I had got the Pippins at the time, the black and white playoff Pippins twos. So the shoe that I want, or my grip that I want, I don't have. It probably has to. It was the Watch Your Throne LeBron, but they dropped it, so I'll probably eventually get that soon. But outside that, it will probably have to be. What Kobe was that? It's a black and purple Kobe 4. It was a PE. It looked like the gradients, but the toe was purple and the rest was black. So between that and the ring ceremony,
I remember that. I remember that. That's a cold PE.
Yeah. Actually, it had to be three. Them, some Ray Allen Milwaukee Bucks 16s.
Oh, okay.
And probably
the ring in the bag.
Yeah, that was that. Or the ring ceremony, the LeBron 10s, the gold ones, the white and like champagne gold.
Okay.
Yeah, because Ray Allen had wore the white and gold 11s that game. Yeah, that ring ceremony when they got their rings at them.
That's what's up, man. Well, yeah, man. Ken, I appreciate y'all, man, coming on the show, man. Kicking it was like 3 hours, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? 3 hours.
It's easy.
I know, right? Yo, man, it's crazy, man. Again, man, I'm a fan of you guys, man. I had to bring you guys on. You're welcome back to the show anytime, man. Anytime. Again,
you know what's crazy? This is the first show we did. Like the first show we did this year was your show.
Oh, work?
Yeah.
We haven't even done our show this year yet.
So, man, that's what's up, man. Again, man, salute to you, your whole staff, crew, everybody, man. Keep doing the thing, man. Doing y'all thing, man. Bringing in the numbers, man. As far as like, even when y'all going on the road. Please be safe, man. Doing y'all thing. Goodness gracious, man. Anything, man, y'all want to give any shout outs or anything, man, before y'all head out?
Thank you for having us, man. We just think we normal. I think I'm a normal person. He may be a public figure. But but I just think I'm just a regular dude, man, who loves, like sneakers, who been in the game, and just, so when people reach out to me, other people comment, DM me, whatever, text me, call me, I really appreciate it. Well, it kind of keeps me going. So I appreciate you having me. Everybody who tuned in, who couldn't stay, who stayed, but
yeah, I had to, and I'm glad you guys pushed it to 9 o'clock because some of my West Coast people, they normally be getting off work. So when I start my show and then I have to, push it back. But this is great, man. We was prime time. We got up to like almost 20 something people in the chat, man, and just rotating. I'm pretty sure, you know, we was probably well over 100 in and out. But yeah, man, yo, again, man, congratulations, man. Almost 10 years, guys. And yo, I just enjoyed the content y'all guys bring. And now y'all on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And bringing the
Yeah.
visuals to life, man. So that's what's up, man. Again, you keep bringing those bangers as far as like the jerseys every episode. So I'll be looking forward to what he's gonna wear this time, you know?
Yeah.
Man, yeah, I got some stuff now. Like, you know, they sent me over the Christmas break, so you know, I'm like, I can't wait to wear them. But I want to shout out everybody. I want to shout out you. Shout out all our listeners and supporters who've been following us since the beginning, since the basement, as we say. And then especially like as of late too, because you know I've been going through a lot of stuff because I had a family member that I had to take care of, and so that became my priority. So we started doing shows intermittently because you know that takes precedence over everything else.
Right.
And so we weren't doing shows as often as of late. And so hopefully we can get back into the swing of things starting this weekend. But just everybody that's been continuing to support us, and especially during this last couple months, definitely appreciate it. And you know, people that have been giving us their thoughts and prayers, or giving me their thoughts and prayers as I've been going through all this, or whatever. So you know, because that's the thing, people they see people like you, us, and they get so used to seeing us as personalities that we forget we're people with real lives and problems and stuff. And so. Yeah, so it's definitely when you get people that reach out to you and you know offer condolences and stuff like that. Because I had like 2 family members die last year, and I had to take care of one. And so yeah, it got rough, but no, I definitely appreciate everybody. And like I said, I can't wait to get back into the swing of things and start talking my shit again.
That's what's up, man. Again, I enjoy you guys. Man, you guys are burst of energy, bro. And I just sat back and enjoyed the conversation. Again, man, thank y'all for coming on the show, man. And when's your next show? Actually, y'all have a schedule yet?
So there's an old episode that me and Guru did like a month ago. So I'm gonna drop that tomorrow, and then we'll get back into the swing of things this week.
Kind of freezing up on my side. I think it's my
Probably Monday or
service.
Tuesday.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
I think it was my service.
Oh no, I was gonna say we're gonna start uploading some new episodes starting next week. We got like one old episode we got still left in the bank, so probably release that tomorrow, and then release new episodes going forward. Because I know that was the complaint. Like the show, like it seems old by the time we hear it. I'm like, yeah, that's because you know, like I said, had a whole lot of stuff going on. That wasn't the show wasn't as much of a priority, you know, at that point because I was dealing with family things. But now that all those things are pretty much taken care of, can get back to focusing in on the show. So
that's what's up. How about you, Guru?
As far as what?
Anything you want to say before we head out?
Shout out. You know, it's past my bedtime, man. No, just like I said, just thank you to everybody who tuned in, who listened to us from then until now, who supports us. Shout out to
everybody that's been on the show.
Yeah, shout out to everybody that's been on the show.
MJ.
MJ, Sneaker Girl, G Sneaks, Scully. You know what I'm saying? So
that's amazing guests, man, in the past, bro. Yeah, really did.
Mayor, shout out to Mayor, man.
Yeah, Mayor.
Remember that? Yo, that was crazy.
Shout out to Mayor, man.
That was so
JC.
crazy. I'm trying to give a y'all like on that one.
JC and Joni.
Yeah. JC and Joni. Shout out to them.
Yeah, man. Other than that, oh man, episode 40, man. We hit 40 episodes, man. We're 10 away from the big 5-0. Again, man, I'm next week, man. I got another banger for you. I got another crazy guest, man. So other than that, man, everybody.
It won't be as good as this show, but it'll be okay.
You see what I'm talking about? Right there.
Oh man, everybody take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace. We are out.
Man, peace.
Peace.